Welcome back to Team Fat Kid Choose Fat. I'm Jason.
This is Alex.
And today we're going to have a special guest. It's going to be Biggie from Deli Fresh. He's going to come on. We're going to talk about a couple surprises we got going up in the food truck and what's going on new with him. It's been a while since we talked to him. So let's go ahead and get him on the line. Biggie, you there?
I'm here, man. What's up?
All right. We just wanted to make sure we could still hear you. All right. Hey, man. How have you been?
I've been good, man. How are the holidays for you guys?
Good. He faded, didn't he?
Did.
Did I fade down?
Yeah, you faded down.
Let's see if I can.
Is this a little better?
Nope. I think it. Hold up. Keep talking.
I can talk. I keep talking.
Yeah, you're good. Right there.
Right there.
Well,
Maybe it's me. I have to talk.
Oh, now we lost you entirely. All right, we're gonna come right back. One.
All right, technical difficulties accomplished. We worked our way through it. We're again back here with Biggie from Deli Fresh. How have you been, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. How you guys? How'd you guys do Christmas? How are the holidays for you guys?
We worked a lot.
we were off on the day of.
Yeah, we were off the day of Christmas. We worked. We worked on the shoulders.
The hustle is real.
Yes, it is. I guess what I really wanted to get, because we want to talk sandwiches with you.
Yeah.
And we just completed the year of sandwich. It was a long haul. A lot more daunting of a task than I really expected it to be. With like trying to figure out source things. We did do our best to, I guess, stay authentic to the actual sandwich of that individual city.
Yeah.
A lot because, like, a lot of these cities we've never been to. And so it's like, okay, like, what would they want it to be, you know? And then we try to, like, take our, like, some of the sandwiches, and Alex can attest to this, is like, you know, the peanut butter fluff. Like, there's not a lot we could do with that. I mean, other than we put it on the wrong bread.
Yep, and we fixed it.
We did fix it, and we had to go back and retake that picture because it was we had it on wheat bread because that's what we had. And someone called us out, and they're like, "That sandwich looks way too healthy to be a peanut butter fluff. It's got to be on Wonder Bread." So we went out to the store, we bought Wonder Bread, and then they said like we used the Kraft, like.
The wrong fluff or something.
Yeah, the wrong fluff.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
I mean, it also depends on where you live. In some areas, you actually can't get it. Now, that would make sense because, like, the official fluff that they use, supposedly 70% of the consumption of marshmallow fluff is in that area of, like, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. 70% of the people who actually consume that stuff is actually in that area. So you may sometimes not find exactly that brand. You may have to find like the other version of it. Usually there's only like one or two or maybe only one option available in your supermarket.
But we definitely we had to get a little creative with some of them though.
Yeah,
I mean,
some of the sandwiches.
The reindeer sausage, we definitely took some liberties with.
The reindeer sausage, it was venison, and it was raining outside, and that was the best we could.
We made deer sausage while it was raining, so it wasn't spelled the right way, but it was reindeer sausage.
It's close enough.
Yeah,
close
right.
Enough. Sometimes you got to be, it depends on how you like, what you do. Which one would you say? Would you say that one was the hardest one, or
hardest to source?
That was the hardest to source.
And reindeer sausage is expensive as hell.
I think, as far as difficulty goes, that could be a wide variety of things. Because I mean, like some of them took a lot of time. We smoked a lot of our own meats for it, like the burnt end sandwich. That was probably only maybe 2 hours. That wasn't that bad.
I think honestly, for me, and like if I had to pick the most difficult sandwich, it would be the muffalata.
Yep, that's exactly where I was going. The bread. We made our
the
own
bread
for it.
The bread alone.
Yeah, we had to make the bread, and that took a couple of days. And then my aunt actually mailed us in the correct olive salad for it. And then we outside of that, we just went and bought high quality meats from the deli, and that's how we made the sandwich.
It took a lot of time, though. I mean, like it was a good,
it was a really good sandwich.
It was a good sandwich, but man, it took some time.
And we made two.
I was gonna say, how painful sometimes is it with all the work of going into it in order to make it, to then then you consume it, and then sometimes you're like, damn, I'm like, it took me all those hours, and I finished it in 15 minutes, and that's it. I got nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh crap, I forgot to take a picture of this, or I forgot to do this because I ate it and I was so excited. And I didn't get to, that type of thing.
I'll be honest with you, like the picture, like, because we were definitely doing it for the picture. That was like in the forethought of our mind going into it, like to present it well. Giving that individual sandwich, its due diligence and like making sure that the photo looked good. Alex did like a lot of the backgrounds, whether he was like laying down in the grass in the yard on a log, and he had like, just to. Like, so it's like,
there was some weird
like
shit.
Montana.
Look, Jason jokes me all the time. Like, I definitely, like, he'll just walk out the back door, and I'm, like, sideways in the grass, like, pointing up at what we call the Coliseum, which is, like, our fire pit. And, he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, yo, you like the photos I get. Just let me be.
It is true. Like, I decorate the sandwich. He does everything after that.
I think one time he came out, and I looked like a 16-year-old girl on the phone, like, texting, like, my legs were up in the air, and I've just got my phone in my hands, and, like, I definitely got joked for it, but it was like, the photo looked good. What do you want from me?
Good.
What do you want from me?
I gotta say, you did incredible, like, on the photos.
Thank you.
The photos were great. I loved the photos. Every time I saw the photos, I thought you guys did a heck of a job with it. I mean, that's like whenever you guys do whatever you guys decide to do with all the work that you did, you pretty much have your photos done already. I mean, that was like definitely a great job on this.
We took a lot, obviously.
Well, they
took a lot, but
Biggie was like, you got to make a recipe book.
Well, yes.
We
talked about that last week.
He's like, you already got the photos done.
Yep.
He's like, you know what you did.
We got it all listed. I mean, we just gotta
seriously like make it. I was telling Jason, like, you seriously have to think about going the route of, even if you make it like an ebook, so you don't even have to like print it. Maybe even figure out a way of outsourcing where you can print like a few versions of it. So like once you've created it, so that way all of you guys have like your own book, and maybe do like, see what the minimum is it 25? Is it like the least? Then like make it so it's a super exclusive hardcover, but then the rest is, you could either make it digital and then just start making, make money off of it.
You got to be careful because I think is it Amazon that owns Kindle? Yeah. I believe that if you do an ebook with Amazon, that you cannot do a hard copy after. So you have to make sure you read when you get into that.
Well, so you got to do the hard copy first,
or make your just check your contract.
You don't think you can make like a
check your contract. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, if you do an ebook with Kindle and Amazon, last time I looked into it, it was basically stated that if you do an ebook with us first, like if you have no hard copies, like you are now an ebook. Like we basically are the sole proprietor of your information.
Exclusivity.
Yes, exclusivity. So just make sure you read your contract.
What you're basically saying is you're going to first make a limited edition run.
That's right. I have 100 books.
Once it's sold out, then it becomes an ebook.
That's right. I have 100 books, and now we're going to make an ebook, and it's not exclusive to your store. So again, I mean, it could have changed. This was a couple years ago when I looked into it. It's honestly for Team Fat Kid. And again, like we were looking into doing a recipe book in particular, and I looked into it, and you have to be careful with that because I'm sure you can negotiate, but just make sure you read.
Yeah,
make sure you read.
So,
while we're on sandwiches,
I mean, like, have you had any good ones recently that stand out?
The only ones I've had are ones that I've made at home. And then there's also a place that just finally opened a brick and mortar store that does hot chicken it's called Chicken Fire, and it's a hot chicken. And they do some crazy, they make them as their hot chicken as tenders, but they're like these massive tenders. And I laugh because they call it sliders. And I'm putting up massive air quotes because for like it's literally 2 sliders, but it's really 2 brioche buns with these 2 massive sandwiches. So it's like you technically could just sell it one at a time, but they sell 2 of them. And I went right, and I was like, I remember having it, and like, I love the fact that it holds, as I would call, structural integrity in the sense of like from picking it up to taking it home, it still holds up as a sandwich. And it's phenomenal. And then The other ones have been stuff that I've done at home, especially during the holidays, because like I'm Cuban, so we do Noche Buena. So we do roasted pig with rice and beans. And so a lot of times what we do is the next day we do pan con lechon, which is literally the leftover Cuban bread. Yeah, we use that. Like we don't cut it all, so that way we can make it into bread. We can make it into sandwiches. And then what I do is I saute some extra onions, and then I put the leftover meat. I chop it up and I put it in a pan, and I just kind of like warm it up. And I literally just put it in. I make a pan con lechon. I literally heat up the bread in the oven. I slice them up and heat up the bread and make myself like kind of like a pork and onion sandwich in there. I do that, and then of course always since I'm my wife's American. Whatever, we do the traditional Christmas. We don't really do. We usually do like sides and stuff. But when I went to go see my in-laws, they did turkey, and they know I love a good sandwich, so they basically got me. They had stuffing ready, cranberry ready, and I literally had like leftover, like a Thanksgiving kind of. I call them pilgrims. If you eat them on little pilgrims, if you eat them on dinner rolls, but they had like they brought bread, and I just basically made like Thanksgiving sandwiches. So I was in heaven.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. I think that's one of the best parts about the holidays is the leftovers, so you can create
Correct.
sandwiches. And I mean, even the bowls. I mean, I think Wawa kind of cornered the market on the whole like Thanksgiving, the turkey bowl.
They've definitely cornered the market on the turkey bowl.
We had talked about doing something like that off of the truck during the winter months, like just to like throw it back at Wawa.
Before we get too far off subject here, not off subject because this is my comment is off subject. But Biggie, are you a big fan of spice?
Spice, yeah, I like spice.
So you're a big heat fan because I mean you brought up that spicy chicken sandwich, and I'm just curious. I mean,
yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Like I and I forget the name the interview where you eat the spicy wings. Like, I don't know how high I can literally go, like my spice level of like what my tolerance is, because I will say like I'm not one of those that likes to eat something so spicy where I can't taste it. I'm numb and I'm crying. I don't think I can. I don't enjoy that because then I don't feel like I can't even remember I ate it because all I want to do is like drink milk.
Is that First We Feast? Is that what it is? Hot ones.
Yeah.
Hot ones.
Yeah, hot ones.
I was gonna say, we might have to send you some sauce, man.
Yeah, we
seal a little jar and send you some 13th level.
I love a little sauce because I mean I definitely put on. We have sriracha. We do a lot of sriracha mayo and stuff like that in my house. We do a lot of that because we do like some. We like some heat. But I sometimes will tend to do like even when we do like pork tenderloin and I do like Jamaican jerk, I usually will put a little brown sugar to kind of
brown down.
So I want a little sweet and a little heat.
You might cut ours, but still, we'll send you a little sample.
Yeah, ours is a little different.
It's got flavor, but
it's definitely got a lot of flavor. It's all roasted peppers, so we make it and we roast all the peppers first. So it's a roasted hot pepper sauce. But it is hot. It is hot.
It's hot.
But it's the natural heat, I guess you would say, of having like 13 different peppers in there. Like
yeah. No, I think that'd be awesome. I love that. It's funny. One thing that and it's something that I don't know why I'm going to share this with you because it is something that's in the back of my mind to do, but I don't care, and no one's going to come to Orlando to do it most likely. So when I had my theory of doing the next food truck race, I was not going to do sandwiches.
Wow.
Which sounds crazy.
Right?
And the reason being, and the reason I'm telling you all this is because I think it'd be cool for you guys to be able to do on your truck as something different. And that is, have you ever done Thanksgiving egg rolls?
I have not done it, but I have had one. I have not made them personally. I have had a Thanksgiving egg roll.
I have not, and it sounds amazing.
I literally, if I ever did a food truck or anything food related, obviously, like my 1A would be obviously dream scenario would be sandwiches because I have like a concept of how I would do that. But the other one would be I have made, it's gotten to the point now, and I know I'm the sandwich guy, but I've gotten to the point where I have friends that have invited me to their house after like during the holidays or during a Super Bowl party, and they're like, hey, Biggie, I got a whole bunch of ingredients. You want to make egg rolls just to see what I can do? And I've done everything into an egg roll. Like I've done everything from like cheeseburger to cake to apple pie.
I mean, look, you're sticking to the handheld like.
Oh yeah, I'm all about the handheld world. and that's definitely food truck food. That's the reason why I think about it, because you guys could totally do it where if you did some mac and cheese, some of your pork barbecue, something like all that, you chop it all up, mix it all together, and make some egg rolls out of it, or even make a dessert out of it. That'd be killer.
I'm a big fan of egg rolls just in general. Spring rolls, egg rolls, like all the. I mean, at this point in time,
the Biggie roll selection.
The Biggie roll selection. There we go. It's funny that
it fits with the Fat Kid brand perfectly.
Well,
all right, Biggie rolls, it's perfect. I love it.
That's why I'm sharing it with you. As much as I'm the sandwich person, I can tell you. I mean, I love food, so I'm like I eat everything. But like if I like, we'll make those Thanksgiving, and like I literally will have Thanksgiving sandwiches, and we use all the leftover mashed potatoes, stuffing, all that stuff, and I literally make my own. And then we use the leftover cranberry sauce as your dipping sauce with the gravy. Dude, there's nothing better than that. It sounds like the only thing better may be me grabbing some of those egg rolls and putting it in a sandwich and eating it as a sandwich. Like, and that's the only thing I haven't done yet. And I'm like, and I am going to do.
The producer just walked in.
That's ridiculous. I'm literally going to attempt. I bought egg rolls because since I already did the pan con lechon, I'm going to do my mom's yuca, rice and black beans, and the pork, and I'm going to put it all inside an egg roll, and I'm going to fry it up and see what it tastes like.
Now, do you venture from the egg roll wrapper into like spring roll wrappers? What about like the rice wrappers?
No, you're talking very chefy. I'm talking very home like I'm thinking quick and easy where anyone can make it. I basically got the idea from a video, and then ever since then I've literally like occasionally will work around and play with that. I figure if I can make it into a sandwich and I can somehow fit it into an egg roll, I'm going to attempt it. So we've just tried everything. I literally will be like, well, what the hell? Let's put it in an egg roll.
Have you ever tried to fit a sandwich in an egg roll?
With the bread?
Like, yeah, I'm talking. You're probably going to take multiple
with
sheets.
The bread?
Yeah. Come on, egg wash the edges. You can overlap them. You can wrap it like a Christmas gift.
That's a big. I
love the face you're making right now. By the way, Jason's staring at me like, "Why did you say that out loud?"
I would need like a turkey fryer for that type of thing. I'm like that would be a little intense.
We'll let you know how it goes just by the face he was making. I have a feeling this is going to happen soon.
Yeah, it almost sounds like a burrito gone like roid crazy.
It's like almost like a chimichanga.
But then you have to figure out like what sandwich.
It's a chimichanga and egg roll.
You gotta go. I think what would work really well in that would be you'd have to do something like either like a chicken. I don't know why, but my brain thought chicken parm or like a Philly cheesesteak.
See, I was totally going Italian with you. I'm on the Italian thing. I feel like deep fried Italian's a safe bet.
Because the cheese and everything and the bread, and then you have all like that stuff, and then you do enough cheese.
Well,
then
that's
it
not a
becomes
inside the egg roll.
Well,
yes, it is. I've done spaghetti. One of the best sandwiches that I've inspired, because I used to do it as a kid, and one of the restaurants does it as a special. They call it the Deli Boss. And it's a sandwich that I did. It's spaghetti. It's a spaghetti and meatball sandwich with like a garlic spread, and it has mozzarella in it, and then they press it.
Oh, like a panini?
It's kind of, they don't do that. It's not like a panini, but they press all their sandwiches because they get like this bread from like the Midwest that I don't know what it is, but it's super dense, and it's like a rye or a pumpernickel or a sourdough. But it is phenomenal to press, and I don't know how they do it, but it all holds in place. I mean, it sells out all the time, and I'm like super proud of it because it's like something that I originally used to do at Italian restaurants. I used to go and be like, can I get a meatball sub? Can I get a side order of spaghetti? And then I'd tell them what to do. I'm surprised they didn't spit in it. They probably did.
It's still delicious. It's okay.
It's just Italian seasoning.
Yeah, I was like, can you get a spaghetti and can you put it, like, toss it together, then add mozzarella on top, and then slide the whole sub inside the oven and toast it. So that we've got cheese, just like you would a meatball sub, but it had spaghetti and meatballs in it. Dude, that thing is killer. No. That's carb loaded. You're taking a nap after that.
Real fast, I want to touch on a couple of things that you brought up.
Yeah.
Like with the Great Food Truck Race, we had interviewed Rolling Indulgence, which is one of the trucks that was, I think, the season before us. And Tyler.
They had our truck. Didn't they?
We
had their truck.
Yeah,
we
operated out of the same truck.
Really? Is that how they do it? They basically
they just rewrap the trucks.
Depends on the season, because some people bring their own trucks, but most of them, yeah.
But in this,
some people bring their own trucks. I thought you couldn't have a truck.
It depends on the season.
In the beginning of the whole series, it was everyone had their own truck, and then eventually they just started then the premise was like you couldn't have a truck.
Yes, that's how Miss Cheesus or something Cheesus.
Yeah.
Because their family lives in Orlando, and they opened a truck. They opened a business, grilled cheese business in Orlando, and they were related to, I think it was like the Cheesus or something like that, McCheese or something like that. Sorry to interrupt.
But it's fine. But Rolling Indulgence, Tyler actually gave them crap because he wanted egg rolls off of their truck because it's called Rolling Indulgence, and So when we were talking to them, they were like Drew, he was like, man, he's like, I'm trying to figure out how to stuff my sandwiches inside egg rolls, and it's funny that you bring it up now. Like, it's like, so that was like, he was like, Tyler just kept giving me crap because he wanted everything that we made to be rolled. Like, and then Tyler finally got it. Like, oh, the rolling part is the truck.
I mean, I get it. I mean, it's a great concept. The big difference with that, like the big thing I think that helps with like an egg roll truck is the fact that you can prep everything, throw everything in a freezer and then refrigerate, and then the rest is just drop and fry.
The sell time
as opposed to you guys making a sandwich where you guys have to like
build as we go. Yeah,
it's made to order because I know some people that do like Cuban sandwiches and stuff like that, where they'll do is like they'll cut everything up, have everything ready, and all they do then is grab it and throw it and press it. But then there's a whole process to it.
Yeah, like we still to this day, like everything we do is to order. When you order it is when we begin the order. Like we start making it. Because I mean, I guess with us coming like from the restaurant industry, that's pretty much how this all works in our head. Mm-hmm. We haven't created any shortcuts for ourselves. I mean, obviously there's like sauces that are pre-prepared. Our garlic bacon cheese sauce is held hot. Because it goes on so many things, so we just keep it like in a heat well.
There's no way we'd be making that to order.
It takes about an hour to make the sauce. But yeah, we're still like everything you order is like we're breading it on the truck and everything like right when you order it. Like obviously the prep work went into like grinding the meats, and forming like the balls for our smash burgers and stuff like that. Yep. But outside of that, like when you order it, like we literally grab a ball of meat and smash it on the flat top, like old school.
What? And I don't know if you guys have brought this up, but like, what's been now that you have the truck for the amount of time that you've had it, because you've had it now for what, like 3-4 months now? Is that
roughly?
Right?
Yeah,
right around
up
there.
and running. Yeah.
What's been the biggest difference from the show version? Obviously, the show version was like very quick and whatever. But like having your own truck and your own thing, and then the 4 months of you doing this now, what's been the biggest thing that you've learned? Obviously that you think has been like what's been the toughest part of it, or what's been like the thing that you've learned the most out of it? Because obviously, like you said, like you still haven't really. You're in time. You'll figure out the process of how to create a process of making life a little bit easier for you guys. To kind of work the process, because obviously you don't want to take too long either on cooking food and all that stuff when you have a long line of people waiting for your food.
Two-parter.
Yeah.
My answer. I'm going to let him answer on his own. Two-parter.
For me, the biggest difference between the show and operating your own truck is we have a little more time to prep. We do work every day, but whether we're like on the truck or not on the truck, we're working in some fashion of it. But like when like on the show, it's like time starts now, and you got to go get your product, prep all your product to sell that day. And I'm not saying we don't still do that.
Make bacon cheese sauce every fucking
day. Yeah, but we sell that shit by the gallon, dude.
We really should, actually. That'd probably be a great business plan. I'm not even gonna lie.
But I think honestly, like
do it in mason jars.
Yeah, right. Here you go. Take it home, heat it up, good to go.
But like, I think honestly, like the time.
Fat
Like,
kid sauce.
yeah, fat kid sauce.
But
Like,
we've talked about nachos, and we're not going to get too far into that because there's a spin-off on that.
yeah,
But,
well, we have more ideas. But I think honestly, for me, it's still stressful. But I think the time constraints that we're operating in is less stressful than what we were on the show. But at the same sense, man, like when we're rushing out to a site, we're still rushing to get there, you know, to be on time, to be open and ready, and to obviously
make sure everything's hot.
Yeah, to make sure your equipment's hot when you get there. Like, so you have to get there and you have to turn on all your equipment, and it takes 20, 30 minutes for a flat top to come to temp, just so you can start cooking bacon, so that you have bacon for the first couple orders that come out. Like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really change.
There's a lot we probably could do ahead of time. Getting the flat top hot, maybe not so much. But, like, we could have bacon pre-cooked. But we don't like that. We're definitely on the fresh side. I will say the two things that I think I have learned. First is definitely the amount of time that goes into it. We're not on a show. There's no one doing things for us, getting permits. You know, the behind the scenes, really, the accounting, the permitting, it takes a lot of time. Like he said, even if we're not on the truck, we're working every day, and I'm sure you can relate. You know, running your own business, it certainly cuts into your free time. So I think we
is our free
expected it.
time, and we chose to spend it with you.
And I appreciate it.
I think we expected that we were going to be busy, but just honestly, how much time goes into it, it's a lot. And the second thing I've learned, kind of because of the show, is that we think a lot differently than the people that currently run food trucks.
Yeah, we do think a little bit differently.
We recently kind of partnered with a Best Buy in our area, and to my knowledge, no one had. They own their parking lot. They're in prime placement in Virginia Beach. Like, they're in the middle of what we call town center. So, like, it's the busy, populous area, and it's Best Buy in the middle of Christmas. Like, they were busy, so we were busy, and it worked out great. Now, we've done a lot of breweries and things. Maybe not a lot, but a couple.
I think the brewery
and they've been fair
circuit,
showing.
The brewery circuit is kind of like where all the food trucks jump in.
That's the usual, and it's been a fair showing. We've had a up and down,
ups and
downs. But again, COVID, it's cold outside. Yeah. You know, like there's factors. But Best Buy really kind of did well for us. And again, I think we were the first truck to do it. Someone even asked us about it since, like trying to get into Best Buy. And we've been trying to partner with like Home Depot and Lowe's and any kind of large, like Target.
Yeah, like large retail. I don't know if you consider Home Depot a retail store, home improvement store, whatever.
Box stores.
Yeah, large
box
stores that
stores.
own their parking lot.
Yep.
Is the kind of like our angle, and now we're just telling everybody. But
if our competitors listen to us, then we're already doing great. That's all I gotta say. Like,
they're on their truck listening to our podcast. That'd be fantastic,
right? Yeah, we've already won. I don't care. But no, I definitely think that we just think differently. We've talked about a couple of things for like holidays that are coming up, and I'm definitely not gonna release that one because I don't want that competition.
We have one that's that we find humorous and lucrative at the same time. And if anyone knows our personalities, they would be like, yeah, they would definitely do that. So,
but again, it's something that I don't think any other trucks think that way that we do. And I will say a lot of it is because of the show. Just the fact that we couldn't go in and be like, oh, this bar already has like food trucks lined up, so we have to find a different location. Like, we had to figure out where to sell, and that kind of urgency has transferred into our current predicament. And I think helped us out quite a bit. So definitely learned that time, you never have a fuck enough of it. And just the way we think, because of the show, it has benefited us.
I think that's a really good answer. Like, definitely our mindset going into it is different. Like, a lot of trucks, only do the brewery circuit. We started our pay, like in Virginia Beach, in Norfolk, the military is so pronounced here. So we have reached out to the bases, and like we started that paperwork rolling. And it kind of stalled when the governor like put more restrictions on us, and he restricted the military's ability to like go out to eat and things like that. Well, I don't even know. That might have been the government. That might have not been our governor himself. But. So it's always like right now with COVID, it's a slow process, and like being able to get on base and to feed the hungry masses on a military installation would definitely be lucrative for us. Like, so, especially like, I think our concept is geared more toward. You would think it's geared more toward men, but we have a lot of women that come to our truck.
We do.
It's like, you know.
All right, so we got more shit from dudes in California being vegan or vegetarian than, like, there needs to be a guy Karen. Can there be, like, a Chad?
I'm sure there's a name for one somewhere.
It's got to be, like, we need to figure out the guy Karen, because we got so many male vegans and vegetarians that gave us crap in California. And
it's also in California, man.
That's
like,
true,
and here we are in Virginia, and you know, people come to the truck looking for a vegan option when we have Sid the pig slathered on the side of the truck. And
we
like,
haven't. We
do have an option.
We're not proud of it. We do not brand it.
Cheese, though, right? What is it? Is it tofu?
It's
soy.
It's soy. But we don't even brand the bun. Like, I refuse to brand it. Like, if you get a vegan option off this truck, aside from fries, I can't brand fries.
But like we brand our logo on the bun.
But I mean, that's one of those. I can understand that. I mean, the fact that you guys even have that, I think, is awesome. The fact that you guys even have an option. You could have just said no.
It's a request.
Honestly, it's on the truck because it was a request from Best Buy for some of their employees who might, you know, want to come to the truck that were vegan, and you know, them giving us the opportunity to park in their parking lot. We came up with a viable option that we could produce relatively quickly, and that we didn't have to put a lot of mind into, because let's be honest, like, we're not the vegans. Like, I'm not going to sit over here and grind up bulgur wheat to try to figure out how to make a burger. It's just not my speed, man.
No.
Because the first thing I want to do with that is add bacon fat or something, because it seems dry as hell.
I will say, like, obviously it's not something we put a lot of time into. It's something that we buy pre-made, but we do provide sauces for it. And, like, one of the guys that got it at Best Buy, like, I went up and talked to him afterwards, and he was like, it was actually really good when I added ketchup and fire sauce. And the only thing I thought was, like, yeah, it probably isn't good alone, because we don't, like, again, it's not even on our menu. We offer it.
Yeah.
If you have an event and you ask us to be there and say, hey, please bring some vegan options, you can tell the vegans to ask for it, because we're not selling it. It's just, we have it.
Correct. Got it.
But then we go places that request it, and no one requests it. I don't know, but
I have 3 vegans. Yeah, they all must have got fries because we didn't feed any of them.
Like, while you're really here, like,
is he going somewhere?
No, like, but I want to get into
the reason we brought him.
Yeah, because we needed his
expertise
in the sandwich world, and so I sent you a couple pictures. And all right, so that sandwich, which we're going to disclose, is not on our menu. Like, it was named after a gentleman who was a little inebriated and needed some food, and then so we kind of like created this for him to slow him down. And he has been back and he has ordered it again, and he says he goes home and goes to sleep afterwards. So it is called the Goldsmith, and it is a 6-ounce 40-30-30 patty, our custom grind, with our crinkle cut French fries on a custom bread that I wanted to get back to the bread, so we'll talk to that about that.
We'll jump back to that.
So it has Philly meat, it has the garlic bacon cheese sauce on it, and it has bacon. And it has our signature bite sauce that has like a horseradish cream sauce that goes on it. So your
sounds good. I love it. I'm salivating.
Oh, and the bun was toasted in bacon fat.
The bun is toasted in bacon fat?
We have to steam any vegetarian option.
So
because literally it cannot touch the grill.
So what we do, and we're disclosing a lot of information, but you know,
I was going to say that earlier, but I didn't want to disclose that. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah, we steam the bun because it cannot touch the flat top because we use bacon fat to butter our bread.
You know the butter wheel on flat tops that people like. Yeah. Ours is full of bacon fat.
So yeah, and since it's phenomenal.
I love how you just turned into like I don't even remember the guy. It was from Looney Tunes. That's all. Porky the Pig. Perfect. There it is. See, that's all, folks. Yeah.
So it's like we said, like everything we do, we put thought in going into it, like especially with our food truck and like that. Everyone butters bread to toast it. Some people might use olive oil. Some people might use that weird butter alternative.
The butter
Yeah, whatever
like
it's called. It's like a liquid
butter.
oil fake butter.
We'll call it liquid margarine. I don't really know.
Clarified butter was going to be our option. But with the amount of bacon that we cook, it was
have it.
Yeah, it's free.
You're repurposing it. You're just repurposing it is all.
I feel like it makes a difference. I mean,
I'll be honest with you. Like, I haven't seen bread toast like this ever. Like, it comes out with like a sheen, a crust. It's like perfectly toasted.
We do have a new flat top, so I mean, I don't want to get too far into our confidence in bacon fat.
Do you do both sides, or you only roll the inside part of it, or do you do both sides of it?
Only the inside. We don't roll the outside.
Okay, good. Okay.
But I do toast both sides of the bun, of the bottom half. Of the bottom half. I don't flip the top half over, because I don't want to discolor that.
Well, we also don't want greasy hands. Like,
correct. That's the thing I was going to say. I'm like, the fact that you have that. Then, not to mention the beauty of it is the fact that you have the soft bun when you're like the pillow, but then you have like a crunch layer which kind of creates that nice barrier when you're grabbing your sandwich. So that's like the way to do it, because it's like it gives you both worlds.
And the structural integrity with the sauces, it doesn't seep straight into the bread.
Correct.
So it's
the bread, though. I want to jump back to the bread.
Let's talk about the bread.
Tell me about this bread.
Let's do a shout out.
Okay, so my boy Ken over at Angie's Bakery.
Hold on. Shots fired. Shout out to Ken.
Why are you doing a shot?
Because I need some kind. Because we don't have any sound effects. Dooley's on the Slack.
Dooley was supposed to be here. We have a new computer. He downloaded all these sound effects, and then
they're not on here. So Ken gets shots fired for shouts out. There's another one.
There's your air horn. I gave you air horn for you.
Beautiful.
So I've known him for a really long time, and he began baking a few years ago, and so I just reached out to him, and I was like, hey, we're opening a food truck. He's like, yeah, man, I've seen it, and I was like, we need bread. And he was like, well, how much bread? And I was like, well, it really depends. And
his average for restaurants, I want to throw that out.
He was saying he was selling like, a couple dozen a week.
2 dozen a week to restaurants. And I think our first order was like 48.
Like for a couple days. And then it was like, we need like 120. So we rapidly became his number one customer for his bun.
Okay. Do you guys use his buns for only this sandwich, or do you use his buns for everything else?
Most of our sandwiches come on his bread. We use an Amorosa roll for our Philly. Obviously, got to use something different there. But we really like.
He is working on a Philly style roll for us, so that we can purchase it from him as well. And he's working diligently. Like, he doesn't have a hearth like Amorosa. So again, like it's the fresh bread versus like the quality, and like with the fresh rolls, I mean, he's killing it. Like, it's so pillowy soft. I don't know what he's doing.
It's
also, a certain kind of
It's
bread.
also fresh, though. I mean, like, when he says fresh, like, we went to an event the other day and picked the rolls up, like, on the way. Like, hey, these finished like an hour ago. I'm bagging them.
In the bag, you see the steam still on the bag.
Oh,
you're doing it.
He was bagging them
inside.
He's bagging them as we pick them up. Like, hey, here you go. I just filled a box. Take it with you. Like, it was. I mean, that's. I feel like that really does make a difference.
Fresh bread too. That's the other part. There's nothing better than fresh bread.
And I will say it brands beautifully.
What is the? He told me the name of the bread. It's the Filipino dough. Sometimes it's purple.
Yeah, no.
We don't get the purple one. I thought about it.
I thought about it. I do not know.
Yeah, it's a Filipino roll that we're using. It is
Does it have a layer of sweet to it?
No, not really. He does the sweet one, which I think is the purple one. So he said it's more like brioche, the purple one.
Okay.
I'm personally not a fan of brioche bread. I think it brings too much sweetness to it. Like I get like almost like that glazed donut flavor. Does that make sense to you?
Pandasol.
Pandasol.
Pandasol? I think it's Pandasol.
Pandasol is the bread that he's making for us, and
It is wonderful.
yeah,
We love it.
I don't know if there's a big Filipino community down in Orlando.
I'm gonna have to check and see because there are some, but I've never had it. I definitely want to check it out now.
Yeah.
I will say, I think the only
while you're there, and it's happened at every Filipino bakery I've been to, they have what's called pepperoni bread. And go ahead and grab one of the whatever pepperoni roll. Grab one of those while you're in there.
Pepperoni bread. Okay.
Grab one of those while you're there. It's when they're hot, and it's almost like the Filipino version of a calzone, and it comes with like the marinara dipping sauce. It's awesome.
Filipinos know how to cook, man. They make some great food.
I will say, I think the only time we've used bread that wasn't Ken's was when we didn't have time to order from him, and it was very specific.
Yeah, we ran out of bread.
Yes.
And he couldn't do the turnaround fast enough for us, so we had to go purchase bread from.
And it's a rare occasion, I think. I mean, like at that point, it's kind of like, all right, the chicken sandwich for the day is going to go on this until we run out of Ken's bread, and then everything's going to have to go on this, which I don't think we've gotten to. But
so we'll grab like a Kaiser, it's from a
It's not bad, but it's not our bread.
But,
you got to stretch, COVID times.
But
you get what you can.
Like here, there's a bakery that mass produces, and so we can get their bread at Restaurant Depot, like their Kaiser, but it's not what we want to do. And again, Ken being a friend of ours, and supporting his business while he's also he's putting posts up when he opens the oven. And he takes a photo, and he's like, "Team Fat Kids bread's coming out right now," and then we're gonna be open in an hour. You know what I mean? It's cool. Working together with other small businesses is even with our bagels, we get them from another bakery, and they do a jalapeno cheddar bagel. It's when we do breakfast. So it's again supporting the bakeries that we've known for a while and people that we've known. And now that we have our business up and running, and them turning around and giving us the support as well, it's a cool little community.
I think that's awesome. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, because all you guys helping each other is a full way of goes full circle. Not to mention you all network and help one another and be able to promote one another. I mean, to know that I'm I can get bread at this place, or I can get bagels from this. This is what they use, and I love what they do. Then it gives you another place to be able to go that maybe you didn't know about.
I mean, when we do those things, we will, especially, when we get the bagels, it's from Bliss Bakery, and, we put it, on our menu board, the bagel from Bliss Bakery. We can't really do that with Angie's Bakery because it's on, every damn sandwich except for the Philly. It's we give them a shout-out. We let people know.
Bread from Angie?
Yeah. Does he do it as a cottage style where he's doing it from home, or does he do it a commissary kitchen, or what is it like?
No, he has a full blown bakery. He has a full blown bakery with the glass counters.
He just got some new equipment that we help him move.
Yeah, that was another thing. He's like, "Hey, are you guys busy? We got to move this." He got a brand new Hobart mixer. And I don't know if you've ever moved one of those things, but damn.
I was gonna say, you're also probably helping him with business too, because then more people are using you or using him. Then you're helping him grow. So, of course, it works out great because they're both growing at the same time, helping each other out.
I keep telling him, wait till we get on base. You think our bread order is big now.
Was it Rising Tides Raise All Ships?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I was going to say.
He did give us free bread for helping him move his equipment, though, so that was cool.
That was a bitch to move. He got an oven, too. Congratulations to him. Yeah, he got the double stack. Brand new double stack ovens. Had to get rid of the old ones, In
a Hobart legacy. But the bakery's been in his family for years. And so he was like, man, these ovens are from the 80s. It's time, and so good on him. I like to think that maybe we.
It's one of those things like he got the new oven and he was excited about the light.
Yeah, the light works.
Like the light works in the oven. Oh, it's amazing. Like it's an oven, cool, but it's got a light and a timer. Oh yes, that's it's the simple things sometimes.
And he didn't think he was going to be able to make us the bread.
I don't know how he turned it around though. He made it happen.
When Hobart sent the mixer, the bowl did not come with the mixer.
They sent a sheet pan.
They sent like a weird sheet pan thing. He's like, yeah, I can't. He was like, guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make your bread. And I was like, well, we'll do what we got to do. I don't know what he did. Actually, he did tell me he has like a little Hobart that he uses to make for the attachments where he can make breadcrumbs and all that stuff. He used that little mixer instead of like his huge vat. And he worked all night making
taking him forever.
Small batches. He was just making it so that we would have our bread. Like,
we
gotta love a guy like
we
that.
really didn't expect him to turn it around because he told us, he was like, yeah, I do not have the bowl. They did not send me the correct equipment. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this happen. And we had a backup plan, but we didn't even end up using it.
Yeah, he called us. Like he's got the whole setup. Like he's got the thing where you put the dough down and put the lid down and it spins and it makes the dough balls for you and all that stuff. Like he's got a full operation. It's really cool I want to spend more time there learning, but again, like we don't have that kind of time.
I was gonna say, what time is that?
Yeah, like he gets there at like 5 a.m.
Well, speaking of bread, I have a random question for you, Biggie. What's your favorite type of bread? Because obviously you're a sandwich guy. You eat a lot of it.
Yeah, I usually I do love a good, Amorosa breads are great. I like those type of, I like a good, anytime I can get anything freshly made, I will take. Obviously I sometimes will like a kind of like a sweet bread, but like I would like a Puerto Rican bread. It's like called pan solao, which is like kind of like a little bit of sweet, but I do like the breads that have that crusty layer. I'm sometimes end up getting like a French bread or a hoagie type, bread that I'm able to do. Anything that I think can hold. It really just comes down to what I'm having as a sandwich, because I think each sandwich deserves its own vessel of like how you're going to make it. And I think that's kind of the key thing. The same thing with like whether you toast it, not toast it, it all really just comes down to like what you're making. That's why I laugh, because like a lot of people sometimes will always ask me, like in Orlando, they'll be like, well, where's your favorite sandwich place? And I'm like, a lot of times I don't ever want to give them an answer. So I usually will give them, which is a legitimate answer, which is, well, it depends. What do you feel like eating? Because not all sandwiches are the same. So you're not going to use the same bread for every sandwich.
What do you feel is the most versatile? Like what could fit?
I definitely think a sub, like some form of sub roll,
I was thinking ciabatta.
Ciabatta works. I laughed because I did a podcast with a buddy of mine who we drafted sandwich ingredients. And when I did that, I basically told people on the podcast that to me, bread is like an offensive line. When you're drafting, like it is like one of those things where it's like the foundation of your sandwich. It's not, some people think that you can use anything, but I think the bread is like your offensive or defensive line, where it's like so critical on what makes your sandwich so good, on making the flavors of, holding it, doing it. So yeah, a ciabatta. I definitely know that anything, there's like a place like a bakery, an Italian restaurant that I go to, like an Italian restaurant that actually all they do is bake their own bread. And I pretty much will eat anything that they will serve me on one of their breads. Because I'd rather have fresh bread made with like a sandwich that they make. So like any sub that they make, like if they make an Italian or a chicken parm or meatball, I'll eat. But I love their breakfast sandwich because they make like their homemade Kaiser rolls, and they're just so humongous. But then at first they didn't make it where it was like too much bread, which is like weird, but it was too much and there was like enough. So then what they ended up doing was they were like, well, crap, our bread's too big, so either we're going to have to go smaller or fill it up with more. So they literally made it where like if I get like a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, it's literally like, it's like egg, cheese, Taylor ham, egg, cheese, and it's like three. So like when you take a bite of it, it's like literally you see the cross sections and it's like layer of like egg. It's like 4 layers of it. And you're like, how much? I'm like, damn. And then by the time you finish it, you're like, I usually I'll have it for breakfast, and then I'll be like, yeah, I'm not eating anything till like a late lunch because it just fills you up because it's so big, but it's awesome.
So you say Taylor ham as opposed to pork roll?
Yes.
Sorry. So
go
ahead.
That's based on where you live,
Right.
In New Jersey. So if you live in northern Jersey, anywhere from like northern to like kind of as you go down central Jersey, it is Taylor ham. Anything South Jersey is pork roll. So whenever I talk to anyone, because that's a shirt that I would love to make, I would love to do a Taylor ham pork roll. And I actually had an idea for one, and someone actually made exactly what my idea was, like to a T. It was like to the point where I was like, maybe that I go, there's no way I ever saw this. And as soon as I told someone, they're like, dude, they made the shirt like this. And it was almost very similar to my realm of what I wanted. And because the whole thing is, the word Taylor ham is technically trademarked.
Yeah.
So I can't do Taylor ham, but then the northern Jersey of me that calls it Taylor ham, I cannot make a shirt that just says pork roll. I can't do it. So I don't know what to do because I'm stuck in a quandary of like, how do I make it where it becomes both? So it's like, so I'm
advertise in the South. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of friends that live up north. All my friends that live up north that they know that I do this, they're all like, when are you gonna make a Taylor ham? And then I have others. So like, it's funny because as soon as that topic comes up, as soon as whatever they call it, I'll be like, you lived in North Jersey, you live in South Jersey, you're like, what are you, Central Jersey? Where are you at? And then like, how do you know? And I'm like, because it's whatever you call it is where you're from.
Isn't the Meadowlands in Jersey?
Yes.
So
that's actually where I used to live.
Do you use like a Giants font and a Jets font?
Dude, I've exactly thought of that. I thought of doing my original theory was because I'm a Giants fan. I grew up as a Giants fan. Was to do Taylor ham in a Giants font and then do a Jets one that says pork roll.
Nice.
But
that's the one that exists.
No one makes it. The only thing is, my problem is, I don't want to, I crossed the line, I tiptoed the line on a lot of things, but this one, when it's like exactly their name.
Gotta be careful, yeah.
And I literally spent, it's funny that this topic is brought up, because I literally spent like 2 days ago on the trademark page looking it up, because trying to see what I can do and what I can't do. Because I originally wanted to do like an enamel pin or something and where it looked like the pork roll, but even that image that they have on the box is trademarked, but pork roll is not trademarked. So I just need to figure out a way of using the word Taylor somehow without using the word ham. Maybe it's a pig. Maybe it's Taylor with a pig.
It's like it's Taylor pork roll ham, sir.
Yeah. I mean, it's something. I also looked at another one because I just like researching because I'd like to do something like that where I thought of maybe I'd blend the Giants and the Jets and do chopped cheese. Have you guys heard of chopped cheese?
Like Provel, or that's St. Louis?
So chopped cheese is literally, think of cheesesteak, but instead of using steak, they use ground beef. And they put cheese on it. So it's almost like it's kind of like a sloppy Joe, but it's like a super cheap sandwich that's like, I guess, made in New York in a lot of like little bodegas and stuff called chopped cheese, where they basically do the same idea, but it's ground beef. And then they put cheese on top of it. So the cheese holds everything together. And they literally just scoop it and put it on a hoagie roll and you eat it on like a hoagie roll. But the thing is, no one really knows much about it. And it's something that's like, very predominant in like Harlem and Brooklyn and all of that.
Don't look at me like
that.
No,
I just had an idea.
I'm sure what your idea is. My idea is probably different, but what's yours?
I was like, now I want to try to do it with a 40-30-30 burger.
See, I was going to say we should just go try it, but either way works. Let's just take a vacation. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Google chopped cheese and then make your version of it.
Oh, I
can't.
I can. Sorry,
yeah,
I forgot. I have the keyboard.
It's like Dooley's not here. It's just Alex and I here today. Dooley actually just sent us a message that he's on his way. Of course, it's late as normal, but he had some issues going on at work. And like with the truck itself, like it's really been just Alex and myself. And I did kidnap one of my
Kidnap sounds extreme.
one of my servers from when I was working at the hotel, and she comes out like when we know we're going to be busy because we need that front person just to punch in the orders. And so is it the two of you guys majority most of the time on the truck doing it? Yeah, it's usually just the two of us.
I just want to say I love how the first thing I read about the chopped cheese is a quote. The chopped cheese is probably a drug dealer sandwich. That sounds awesome.
Well,
coming from the Cuban from New Jersey, I don't know what you're talking about.
The drug dealer. How much does this sandwich cost? I guess is my question. Because if it's a drug dealer sandwich,
like $3 or $4.
Well, that's not even bad. How is it a drug dealer? Like, it's not like a cocaine dealer's like, yo, let me get the cheap sandwich. Like,
it's probably because you get it. Like, it's kind of like, I mean, that's like that, and the fact like you get like a regular, what is it, like a breakfast sandwich in a bodega. It's similar to that type of thing where it's like $3, $4 everywhere, and all that. But it's just kind of funny because I actually watched one day a long thing about chopped cheese, just because I was curious about it because I was like I've never heard of it, and it became like a trend a few years ago.
Oh, see what you just do.
What? I just turned it up because the producer's sitting here and she can't hear it. At least she can listen to some headphones.
My headphones cut out. That's what it was. All right. So I am reading a little bit of a description here.
So the chopped cheese is a sandwich that I've never heard of, which is impressive after like the list of sandwiches that we just went through.
Instead of steak, I got a little bit of a description here. Instead of steak, it's kind of like a Philly, but instead of steak, they use ground beef with peppers, onions, and seasoning, chopped with a metal spatula, covered with cheese slices, and dressed with standard issue condiments like lettuce, tomato, hot sauce, and mayo. So, basically...
It's literally like a cheesesteak sloppy Joe.
Oh, we can make this happen.
I know. And it sounds delicious.
It's a super easy thing.
And I think here, difference...
Do we put barbecue sauce on it?
Like the loose meat sandwich.
Yeah, it's like the loose... Oh, there you go. It's
the
like
Lucy?
the loose meat sandwich that we did for one... I forget what state it was. It was.
I don't know that one.
It was literally ground beef on
Iowa.
Good job, sir.
I like how he's got it.
That's where Sloppy Joe. That's where the idea of Sloppy Joe came from. So what they did was when loose meat came, the reason they called it Sloppy Joe is because there was a ration on the meat, and what they started doing was using the sauce, the tomato sauce, to make it so that you put that the tomato sauce, it adds more
stretches
to it,
it a little bit.
It makes it last longer. It stretches it out.
So is this like during like the Depression kind of?
Yep. That's actually the reason why I went the route of with my Sloppy Joe shirt. I thought of Average Joe's, but I also went with that because Iowa State, their colors are yellow and red. And I thought that it would be a cool idea. Like if you really, I put way too much thought into it because no one ever really looks at it and goes, oh yeah, Iowa State. But that's kind of where the idea came from as well, where I thought it'd be perfect for it.
Somebody might notice. You never know.
A lot of your shirts, like, are dead on. Like when you look at them, like you do.
I try.
You do like a really good job with that, and like just if we could peek behind the curtain for a minute, and where do you start? Like, do you start with like just trying to meld two ideas together?
It depends. Like lately, I really jumped more into the whole. In the beginning, I started that idea called the Sandwich City series, where I was doing there were teams. There's like kind of almost similar to how some cities are known for their sandwiches. And so the idea was I wanted the sandwich to be that city. So if it was like pastrami on rye, look like a New York Knickerbocker one, or fluffinetta, and then I kind of I had really like 4 ideas. I had like cheesesteak, which was like a Phillies. I had Italian beef, which was like the old school Chicago Bears, Ditka sweater. And then I kind of wanted to get away from it because I was like, I didn't want to go so much. That's all I was going to be, like as a brand.
Like the sports sandwich
I
niche.
just didn't want to be that, and that's all I wanted. But so I started kind of playing around with other ideas. Like when I would go somewhere, like my Bigfoot Subs one is like inspired by my time in Portland and Seattle. But then ideas started coming, like the French dip, which is my new one. That one I've had in my head. I had it in my head for like 5-6 years, and I had it designed. I just didn't want to release it because one, not many people knew that a French dip started in LA, and then the other thing was that the LA teams weren't very good, and so I kind of didn't want to like do it to do it. And then once an LA team started winning and being good, I was like, well, then I think it's time to release it. The Medianoche, I got inspired because I was watching during the playoffs, basketball playoffs, and I noticed that Miami had these awesome, like, Miami Nights, Miami Vice style looking thing. And all I could see was, holy cow, like, I see Miami and I see Medianoche, and I made it 2 words. And then I even worked with with a designer from Miami that I used to kind of help me with it, because I wanted him to, like, really understand the flavors of what I wanted with it. And that's kind of how I've done those. But a lot of the other ones is really just doodles and ideas based on what the concept is that I want to do.
Real fast, I love how you refer to the design with flavors.
Yeah.
Like, he understands the flavors that I was looking for in a design of a T-shirt. Like, and that kind of culminates, like, your whole thing. Like, you wanted to do something with food, and not necessarily in the restaurant aspect of it, but you're still bringing the flavor. And I'm using air quotes. I know no one can see that.
I joke around. I joke around when I tell people, because what happens is, what I'll usually would do, and even during COVID, like, because obviously this year I didn't get to do what I love doing, and that's selling at events and being at events and being out there. Like, I only got to do it really twice this year because of all of this. And one of the things that I would do is I bring samples of shirts, because since all my shirts are wrapped, I'm not opening up or ripping open a shirt to show them. So what I do is I bring my blanks and I say, here's what the size is, touch this. And then I say, here's hand sanitizer and all that stuff. But then they always look at me and they're like, oh, this is really good kind. Like, you could tell. And I say, well, I'm like, just like a real good sandwich, you need quality ingredients for a good sandwich. I'm like, I believe in quality ingredients in the shirts I make. So I'm like, I'm not going to give you a shitty shirt. I was like, because I'm not going to wear it, just like I wouldn't eat it. So I'm like, that's kind of the theory behind it. So that's kind of how I've gone with it. Same idea. I mean, it's kind of how it is. It's the care and the care in the packaging, the care of what you do, the little details that people realize, like when you guys brand your bread, or the fact that you guys use fresh bread. You know what I mean? Like, those little things people realize, and they taste it when they experience it.
Little details. Don't you, like, wrap your packages?
Yeah, as the sandwich.
Wrapped,
yeah,
everything gets wrapped like a sandwich. That's exactly
right.
the case.
As the particular sandwich. It's not like you're not just rolling them all up like they're subs. Like they're like, you actually go out and figure out how they actually wrap the individual sandwich.
Correct. The only ones that are hard to do, which I don't do, because it's kind of hard to do a sandwich, wrap a shirt in as a circle, like a roll,
right?
Like for like a sloppy Joe. Those I'll make the traditional, like, square where it looks like it's a sandwich, it's a traditional square sandwich. But anything else, like my Medianoche and my Cuban, are wrapped just like a Cuban would be wrapped. And I do the same thing with, like, lately I noticed that I've really been into the whole more subs, because, like, I have a chicken parm that I just did, and then I just did the French dip, which is all, you know, kind of the same idea, almost like a rolled, like a sub. But it's awesome. This Christmas was my favorite thing for Christmas is seeing how many people opened up their gifts and hearing people write to me and tell me that they actually thought it was a real sandwich underneath the tree. You know, like, that's like the greatest thing I could hear, because people actually think that it's, you know, really, like, I really packed them a sandwich. Sometimes they get disappointed, then they see the shirt and they realize that it's a shirt, and they're like, oh, okay, I really love this, but now I want the sandwich to go with the shirt.
Well, then you're doing a good job. I mean, if people are getting disappointed by the fact that you got a shirt instead of a sandwich, you're doing a great job, right?
So back to the packaging. Back to the packaging. Like, you sent us a really sweet letter. Do you like on the order? Do you do like that for everybody? Is that kind of like when it, like, so you write it out?
I hand write everything. Like, I'm the like, so I totally appreciate and feel like what you guys are doing, because, like, it's literally just me. Like, I literally joke around how I want to do, like, on TikTok they have like the sitcoms where they have, like, they show everybody. Like, I really think that you guys should almost do like on like an Instagram reel or something, but it's just the two of you. So then it shows, like, maybe you guys are wearing different hats, and because, like, I do that sometimes. Like, I want to joke around and I make my daughter videotape me, or I'm like, I'm the shipping guy, but it's still me, and I'm just wearing a different hat. And then all of a sudden I'm like the guy on the computer, like, working, and it's like me, same guy, just different hat, you know. And it's like, because that's literally what I do. Like, I handwrite everything, and during the holidays, since I'm a small business, I want people to feel special. So like, I purposely, it would take me longer sometimes because since some people don't know what I do or how I do it, I literally would email the people after they bought it, and I'd be like, Alex, you bought this for Jason. I'm like, is this for you or is this for someone else? Who's it for? And then you're like, oh, it's for Jason. Oh, is there anything you want me to say? And then you'd be like, oh, you know, you're on Team Fat Kid, and I know you love a good cheesesteak. And then it's like, okay, cool. And then I literally use that in my notes to give to them. And then when I bag it, I actually will write Jason's name and not your name on it when I get it. So when someone gets it, I had one guy, which was like the coolest thing I ever experienced, was I had one guy order something like 2 weeks before Christmas, bought 2 shirts. After he bought the 2 shirts and he got them, he literally came back and wrote back to me and said, dude, this is awesome. Bought 6 more shirts.
Wow.
And then in the list wrote down, he's like, this is for Sarah. This is for Joe. This is for this.
Nice.
And then after he did he's like, I'm getting all my Christmas shopping done. He's like, all this shit's packed already. All I have to do is literally grab it and hand it to him. I'm like, why wouldn't I do this? So he literally did that. And then after he did that, he's like, I got 2 more for you.
Nice.
He ended up ordering 10 shirts from me just so that he can give to the holidays, because he was like, and the funny part is he never bought one for himself. He literally just got it for everybody else. So what I would do is I would make a little note on the paper that says, you're a great gift giver. And I would start dropping like stickers and other things. Cause I was like, dude, I'm like, I see your name. I'm like, I want to give you some props or some love for something.
I got him.
Oh yeah. Like Dooley's here. And he's trying to get in. He just like grabbed the garage door and just tried to open it up, but it's locked.
Trying to open it?
Yeah, it's cold as hell
I mean,
outside.
he can get in the gate.
Yeah, he can walk
get in the
around.
gate.
He's fine. Hey, Dooley.
Sorry, I'm slightly retarded.
You're probably gonna have to unmute your mic, but
You can pass him the keyboard and microphone, or my mouse, the mice back.
the mice.
Yeah.
You want the mice?
I like the mice.
Hey, by the way, Biggie is online right now. Like, so you're totally interrupting.
Unmute
the entire,
yourself and then say
you're
hello.
Totally interrupting an entire podcast. With
I'm so sorry.
Oh, there it is.
like once you get settled, you're allowed to say hello.
Okay.
Might be a minute.
Did he at least bring food?
No, he brought paperwork.
He brought a
Beer?
calendar.
I brought other things.
No beer, no nothing. This is nothing.
Unprepared.
Dooley. It's literally damn it Dooley. Like, he just tried to rip open a locked garage door in the middle of a podcast.
I didn't hear anything, so.
But yeah, so I mean, I think the note that you do for the packaging, I think that's phenomenal. We are not as cool. Like the coolest thing we have.
You brand your sandwich.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
pretty
you.
legit.
It's not okay. So it is a little bit of a personal note, I guess, at the end.
All right. Even
And
when
how mad do you get when the brand doesn't come out right?
Oh, I get really mad. Let me tell
Do
you.
not give it. Well, let me ask you this, because I have obviously, as a person who stamps bags and napkins and boxes, do you actually give it if it is? You still give it to them even though the branding's bad?
Well,
I'm assuming you do.
We have to. There's
Yeah,
no.
'cause, I mean, if you can't waste bread.
The worst part is like there's no going back. You get one chance,
Yeah.
and like if there's a crease in the bread, if it is denser in one part than the other, and you like again, you just go to see like, all right, that spot looks good. I'm gonna stamp it, and we are gonna get a different stamp, one that's a little, I think, deeper,
bigger,
just so
like,
it's a little easier for us to do it. However, there's a science to it. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
We have figured out like 75 at 3 seconds is about where you want to be, but if it's like 40 degrees in the truck, you got to bump it up to 80 at about 4 seconds. I mean, like, there's a science to this going on, which is why I am happy
Here's a
that
good-
we use the same bread, though.
Something you learned that from the being on the show to being in real life. You're not in Southern California anymore. It is cold as shit.
We never thought that our food truck, I mean, it's a tiny metal box. It's got heated objects in it. You think that it would get hot.
No, sir.
We have been on the food truck, Jason and I have been on the food truck when it was 33 degrees inside the truck. Like,
You learn quick, like, and it's crazy. Like you're in there and like you're in full winter gear in a kitchen and you're still trying to cook.
We have since turned our fan down for the winter.
Yeah, we have our hood system is phenomenal.
Amazing.
Shout
yes.
out to Captive Air.
Yes.
It like if the hood is on and we close all the doors, it literally will suck in the sides of the truck.
Like it whistles.
Wow.
It whistles. You can hear it. It's
The air is going to find a way into the vehicle, which is probably good because we would probably suffocate if it did not.
correct. But yeah, no, it's the problem is it pulls in a lot of fucking cold air.
So we had it with issues with a truck.
What did we learn? Well, we've learned a lot.
Well, like one day we turn on the truck and the hood system did not turn on. And this is at Best Buy.
We were no, this was
It was at Best Buy.
it was a Best Buy.
Yeah. And we're like, well, we're just going to muscle through this. And it was like one of the warm days.
Yeah, of course it was.
So we didn't have our usual ventilation. So we had like all the windows and everything open. It's still cold and rainy outside. But, you know, we do what we had to do to get through the day. Come to find out that there was a breaker switch on the roof. Actually on the hood system that needed to be flipped. I don't know how it tripped. We have no clue how it tripped.
A branch, God knows.
Yeah, it's just a switch.
But
But while
Do you guys go on? Sorry.
but while Alex was up there, he realizes that there is a fan speed switch inside.
there's a low and a high. So we've had it on high the whole time.
we had it on high the whole time. So he comes down, and I was like, "Why didn't you flip the switch?" so
I was not on a ladder, but I was like crawling along the roof. Like, so it's sturdy up there, but I don't have a lot of faith in it. You know, I'm not gonna stand. I was crawling, not standing, crawling.
So I did send my cousin up there to. I was like, "I'll hold the ladder. You climb up there. Inside, open it up. There's a switch. Put it on low. It is cold as shit outside. We need to just calm this down a little bit." So it does seem to be more tolerable.
Yeah.
It's still cold. It's
we
still.
we were running at 50 instead of 30, so that's great.
So we had like a 20 degrees
Wow.
difference
That helps.
last night. So we're still unsure. Summertime, it's definitely going to be on high, but like things that we're learning as we go. But you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I was kind of curious, like, because obviously, so you guys have started this. So one thing that I like when I started my business, because what tends to happen, obviously, is a few things that I've heard, or at least from what I gather, and I'm just kind of curious. One, have you guys thought of doing it where maybe like once a month or once a week, since you guys are doing more events, maybe doing like kind of like, I don't know, like accomplishments or things that you've accomplished or done that you maybe, you know, kind of like, or things that you've learned through along the way. I think it'd be kind of cool at the end, like when you've reached a full year with the truck, you've learned all these different things. Like this story exactly, like would be like a great one to be able to kind of do, so that way you know a full year. The other thing that I thought was very interesting, and I learned this from a food truck woman she has a book, and she has a notebook, and what she would do is, which I thought was super amazing. She has like this Swedish food truck, and what she does is every event that she does, she would keep a log. So she kept a log of where it was, like what, like the date, what time it was, like what, like the time frame that it was, she was there, the temperature. So like what the temperature was like, and then also what her sales were like. And so she actually, one day I'm just mesmerized by, like, you know, I'm mesmerized by any small business. So like I was asking her, and she's like, yeah, she's like 2 years ago at this location, I didn't do so great. So I knew what to expect, but I was hoping since the weather was different. And I was like, I'm like, she goes, oh yeah. She's like, I keep a log of all this just because I'm just always curious on, you know, because then I know in the future, as years go by, will this event work? Because what we had a lot in Orlando in the beginning was a lot of food truck bazaars. So we would have it where a lot of food truck rallies where everyone would come. And so she was like, if I'm paying to do these events, I want to know it's worth it. And like, did they market it? Like any notes, she would keep basic notes for events and things that she would do, just to have a basic concept of what worked well, what didn't work well. And I was just kind of curious, like, especially since as you guys grow and start doing more events, you know, are these things that you're obviously, you know, making note of?
Mentally, yes.
Yeah, we are not.
We have a calendar with all our dates on and stuff, but we have definitely not gone through and been like, oh, this was...
like, this one was this and this one was that, but the weather was
and I think,
crap.
like, even if you... Exactly. Like, and I think even if you just make it like where it's like somewhat common notes of like what you've learned on some of your events, especially as you guys start growing and start doing like when you finally do get to the military base, like get in there and you start doing it where it's like, like you'll basically know pretty quick on like what, obviously learning on the aspect of like how many rolls do we actually need or, things like that. Like, oh crap, like we really sold out of this really well, or it's been a consistent seller every time we go to Best Buy. This is our consistent seller. Whatever.
Philly fry.
Those are. Did you say Philly fries?
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. It was just a sneeze.
We had this conversation earlier today with my wife, the producer, and also one of our partners in the truck, and she was like, "It's very difficult to gauge." Because we do basically all of our sandwiches we can turn around and do on top of French fries.
Or mac and cheese currently.
Yeah, so now we're bringing in a mac and cheese element. And so, like, we'll take, like, the fries and we'll pour, like, the bacon garlic cheese sauce on it, and then we'll top it with, like, the sandwich meats, and then, like, a Philly.
For some reason, for those people that don't want sandwiches.
We'll top it with crema and some green onions. Yeah, there's people out there. Keto. So
I'm assuming there's no fries when you do the keto when you do a keto version.
Sure. So the premise of this is like it's hard for us to judge like how much bread you need,
because we could sell a burger, but it might be on top of mac and cheese, it might be on top of fries, and Philly fries. You just brought up like what's your best seller? Philly fries has been a phenomenal seller. Best Buy in particular, I'm assuming it's because they don't want to eat with their hands. Most of the people we serve are the people like carrying stuff out of the store, or they deal with customers all the time, and they want to eat something with silverware, which I get. But the Philly fry, oh my God, has been phenomenally popular. I don't even understand it.
I'm still on my platform that every time
Melissa writes the board,
every time she rewrites the board, it's huge and in the middle.
So Philly fry is just like the first thing you see. I don't know. It's huge.
Now, out of curiosity, I'm assuming, is that like, would that be one of those where it's like almost like when you make, you know what I mean? Like how you start also kind of strategically going like cost of what it costs for you to make? Is it one of those that actually costs you more to make, or would it cost you less to make? So, you know what I mean? Like I could see strategically going that route where you're like, oh, I can make more off of these because it's a little bit cheaper for me to make.
Right, yeah.
Versus, or maybe you're not putting as much as the same amount of meat that you would on a sandwich. You're putting it on the fries, or if it's the same.
The food cost for us is about the same on both. I'll go with that.
Okay.
But yes, there are differences between both. Obviously, one's bread, one's fries, so on and so forth. But yes, the food we keep our food costs in line, but that item in particular just exploded. I think one guy got it and it just like grew from there. I don't know, like. I think 3 weeks running, it was our top seller. Like 3 weekends. So there's probably like 6 or 7 dates. Top seller. And that's...
Is it always Philly fries? So like there's none of the other meats on fries has been as successful as the Philly fries?
Yeah,
the Philly fry has taken it. We have a 40-30-30 fry, which is our burger. And just not like we've sold it.
We haven't done the buffalo chicken.
We haven't done the buffalo chicken fry. We did the buffalo chicken mac and cheese instead.
Yeah, and that does well.
It does, but
I
again,
was gonna say that would do well.
Even the Philly fry, still, I think the Philly
mac and cheese does well.
It does, but the Philly fry still just does so much better.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Philly in general just does well. Like, and on our menu we have two different Phillies, the second best Philly and the best Philly. And it's a joke to us, like, why we call it the second best Philly is because, like, we went around, I think we talked about this before, and, like, we bought all the Phillies, like, off of Yelp, and we came in second place. And so we put it on our menu as the second best Philly. And then we have the best Philly, and then we constantly have people who come, and they're like, I'm from, Philadelphia, and, like, this sandwich is more of a Philly than you can get in Philadelphia, and what we consider our best Philly. But then it's like our play to it is like, because up there's the argument, is it white American, is it provolone, is it cheese whiz? So we do the white American, and then we put our bacon cheese sauce on it, which is our cheese whiz, and so it's kind of both. and like people really get into that, and then we're throwing fries on it just because we're fat. You know, it's like this is what we want to do. Like it has another textural element to it.
Yeah.
Oh, and it has jalapenos on it because we refuse to use bell pepper because that's just not what we want to do. Like it's like if you want peppers on it, it's getting jalapenos. Like it's
That's great.
And I wanted to touch on another subject, sir. We'd had a short conversation, and you were interested in maybe launching a podcast.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, like, with, you know, the group of people that are around, and it's, now that Dooley's here, that gives you another ear. That
Hi.
you could welcome, Dooley. You want to say hi to Biggie?
What's up, Biggie?
What's up, Julie?
Well, let's go with the most important thing. Have you thought of a name?
No, I haven't. Like, so this is one of those things where, so there's a lot involved because like I definitely think that the fact that you as a group, and it's like it's really amazing because there's a few of you to do the podcast, and so that takes a lot of time and a lot, it's just like yet another thing, and so like for me, it's me trying to figure out like what is it that I want to talk about? Do I want to do it with someone else? And then the other aspect of it is like, how can I do it consistently? So like, that's kind of for me where it's been, where last year I used 2020 a lot since I had more time to do either videos and stuff like that. And I was even doing videos on my own personal, like on my Instagram stories, just like on my own personal stuff. Like when I would go on walks and I would just have like ideas. And I was telling Jason, like, I wanted to do something where I love the idea of a small business, and I thought it'd be fun to be able to kind of chat small business and maybe do small business and sandwiches to that degree. But I also knew that I didn't want to do it so niche where it was like, oh, the only thing I talk about was sandwiches. So it's like but right now we're in a weird spot where it's not like I can just, initially my ultimate goal originally was I was going to go to different sandwich places or places that I eat sandwiches around the city, and I would be able to sit down with someone and have a sandwich with them. And I was going to call it like Sandwiches with Biggie. And we were just and it was going to be my way of being able to talk to someone, talk about sandwiches, but also talk about them and, maybe brainstorm with them about their business or whatever, or just kind of talk about it. But then it just got harder because now we obviously can't do that anymore with that whole aspect, just because it's not like I'm going to go anywhere with anyone, because of COVID, to be able to go anywhere.
Sorry, that hand wasn't for you. I'm sure
That's
you
all
saw
right.
that, but
I kind of just thought of a name for the podcast. Biggie Breaks the Bread.
Biggie
So-
breaks the bread.
I kind of like where you're at with the like you sit down with someone and have a sandwich. Have you thought about like you've obviously found a lot of specialty shops that produce sandwiches, and I'm assuming not all of them are necessarily sandwich shops. Like you might have a couple of delis that you go to that just happen to make sandwiches. Have you thought about like for your podcast? You were talking about sitting down with people at sandwiches. Are you talking about sitting down with the owners? Like, do you want to try and get like an inspiration behind the sandwich type deal? I'll be honest with you. I think the niche is a good idea. I mean, like,
like I'm all about niche, obviously, because heck, I don't know anyone else that has a clothing brand that's inspired by love of sandwiches. My whole thing is like I would love to talk to sandwich owners and have that conversation with them and do it, because then it allows me to do anyone who produces sandwiches, get an idea of like what's their favorite sandwich, what makes tips for their favorite sandwiches, things like that. What got them into sandwiches, and also obviously I don't have to just do my locally. I can do, because of like the internet and being able to do Zoom calls, I can do those things. Where it becomes difficult is like literally, I think for me, because I've talked to food bloggers or food podcasters, and one of the hardest part is finding business owners and their availability to be able to talk. And in my world, I have a full-time gig. So, I mean, I have a full-time life, and I basically, it'd be very difficult for me to be like, hey, he's available on a Tuesday at like 9 a.m. to talk to you, or she is, for me to just say, oh, okay, cool, and I just stop my work and do it.
right.
So that's the part where it becomes difficult, where if I can add those people, if I can include those business owners and sandwich owners, I would love to be able to have that conversation with them. But I also thought, to me, the easier route would be, I know so many small businesses across the country and even locally that I can at least talk to. And that's kind of like always the hard part, is the fact of the thought process of like how niche, and then also like do I want to be locally focused? Because in my brain, I think of my stuff as more national, where it can go to it goes to other people, not just me, or just our Central Florida. Even though in Central Florida, I'm known in Central Florida as the sandwich guy, and maybe not as much nationally, but it's something that I want to be able to. I want to be able to just. I don't know. I feel like if I can talk to someone about what they love and about their business and maybe help their business, but also talk sandwiches, it might be something great. And then if I can get the occasional, more often than not, a real sandwich shop like you guys or whatever to talk sandwiches and all those things, that would be great.
I will say one thing to look into. I'm sure you've probably researched this already, is how long of a podcast you want to run. Because if you're just talking like a sandwich shop with somebody, a 45-minute podcast is probably good. And Dooley said this would be free. It's not. So just keep that in mind. Like the length of time of the podcast.
This is all Dooley's
does
fault.
Charge. So if you did a 45-minute podcast, though, that probably wouldn't cost you more than $6 a month.
I don't remember those days.
I feel like it was $6 a month.
I don't remember.
But again, that's something to keep in mind. But Jason has his hand up over here.
That's kind of the big thing for me is like I would want to do it where it would be short. At one point, I even thought of doing like a micro broadcast, like a blog, like a kind of podcast where I literally was just straight up just talk about 5-7 minutes and literally just talk sandwich facts and sandwich history. But I think there's only so much you can do of that. As many sandwiches as there are, there's only so many you can do of that.
I have an idea, maybe to get you started.
We know you can make at least a year podcast out of sandwiches.
Once a week, man. You can definitely do it. But, think about, the possibilities. If you could get, let's use, the Juicy Lucy, for instance. And if you can get a hold of the two restaurants that fight each other, they're, down the street from each other. If you could get them both on the podcast and, let's settle this. It's like...
A debate for the ages right there.
That would be an epic podcast.
That I would love to get to be at that point where I had enough swag and enough clout to be able to pull it off. Even the idea of a perfect example, the French dip, and be able to go to Philippe's and the other place and be like, let's both talk about this and figure out who actually came up with it. That's dream scenario.
And the cheesesteak too. You got the French dip, the cheesesteak,
exactly.
Everybody. There's always a battle. You can even branch off from chicken wings and Anchor Bar and it's.
See, hold on though. This is where the art of lying comes in, because you really only need one of those two people to accept. So really, if you just called the other one and said, "Hey, so and so has already accepted my offer. If you would like your side of the story to be heard, you need to join my podcast."
That is.
And I'm not suggesting lying. Team Packet does not condone, support, or endorse lying. But in this instance, it sounds like the best way to get both parties on the podcast. Hey, I'm going to do this. We're going to talk about who officially came up with this. And so-and-so said they're going to be here.
If you want your side heard. And then you just flip it to the other guy and so-and-so is going to be here.
What you going to do, bitch?
Do you want to be here?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of where my brain is at. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best route. And a lot of it kind of I thought I'd be able to get to a point where I was originally going to go that route, because I also wanted to go a route where I wanted to do a video series of asking different sandwich shop owners and sandwich makers what their sandwich tips were, because I think people would appreciate it. The hard part is with COVID, it just became so difficult to pull off that it just kind of changed all my ideas of what I wanted to do or how I wanted to do it. So that's kind of the difficult part.
L top on top or L top on bottom scenario, man. Where does it belong? And
on top.
Nowhere, because it's lettuce.
If it's on Jason's butt, it's on bottom because he
eat what you
burgers.
love. Don't eat lettuce.
I just don't put lettuce on it. That's what you do. That's it. You don't even make a BLT. You just call it the B, and that's it. It's bacon.
It's toasted bread. It's fine.
Yeah, that's it. It's just bread and bacon.
I think
if it was Jason, I was gonna say it would have mayonnaise on it if it was Jason's sandwich.
Well, that's not a big wrong with that. By the way, I meant to ask you, because I should have seen the video. You guys actually had Duke's Light Mayo and Blue Plate. Do you have a preference? What is there an official mayonnaise of the truck?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, there is.
Dukes.
It's Duke's Heavy, the yellow label.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, good. Okay.
At home, I tend to use the for a while we were on the Duke's Light, it's very hard to tell the difference between the two. And
I think the producer had something.
yes, my producer's like, look.
You can't keep eating all this.
There's something that needs to be light in your life, and she was like, "This is it." So that
lasted a couple weeks.
It lasted a couple years
We'll go
until my brother.
We'll go months.
I was on Duke's Blue for a hot minute, but my brother, being from Louisiana, like Blue Plate has always been the thing, and my brother Googled one day because we were just having a conversation. He's like, dude, there's Blue Plate down the street from your house. And I was like, bullshit. And he's like, no, it's at this Food Lion, like literally like 0.5 miles from your house. And I was like, I kept going in there and I kept going in there. And I was like, I don't see it anywhere. And it was because it was like on the bottom shelf next to like some JFG Bobo brand mayonnaise. And I was like, no one knows. And it was like, I think I got like 2 for $2. On Blue Plate on the bottom shelf. I was like,
it's good mayonnaise. I've had Blue Plate. It's delicious.
And so we did do a blind tasting on like 5 different mayos.
Yeah, well, including Japanese mayo.
Yeah, because we did QP. It's one from Germany. I forget what it was called.
JJ gave it to us. I don't.
Yeah, it was like in a metal tube. Looked like A&D ointment. And then
it was actually good.
It was good. It was good. And then it's still in my fridge. And then actually, let me go grab that. But the Blue Plate was there, and then Duke's was there, and we forgot to bring in Duke's Heavy because I think Duke's Heavy probably would have won us over.
Probably.
But I've always been a Blue Plate fan, and like in our scenario, the Blue Plate won it out. It's just good mayonnaise. But hold on,
what did you guys when you tasted it? What did you taste it with?
French fries.
Okay.
So we used
unseasoned, by the way.
Unseasoned crinkle cut French fries, and the crinkle cut fry came into mind because it's Team Fat Kid, and it goes all the way back to like school. And like when you got French fries in school, they're always crinkle cut French fries.
Those are my favorite. The crinkle cuts are my favorite fries. I don't know what it is. I just think they fry better. They got the little crispy edges because you got all the little
it holds cheese sauce. It's like almost like almost like pasta math. Like,
I want the spiral fry.
There's a science to Jason's madness.
I want the spiral fry. Like I don't. It's just
spiral
weird, and I love it.
But spiral fry is great. My problem with spiral fry is this: you can get like, let's say you get 4 long spiral fries, and then that's it.
And then you get like all like the little cut it. You get like all the little half moon shapes, and like it's just it's at least if you get like the end. If you get the end of a crinkle cut fry, it's a short, but it's still a crinkle cut fry.
That's true. That's true.
But
so do you guys
go ahead?
That's the fry. The official fry is
the crinkle cut.
The crinkle cut fry. Yeah. The half-inch crinkle cut fry, just like you got in school, and that goes back to like the kid in Team Fat Kid. Like, you know, you might get picked on in high school, but I'm gonna eat all your fries as soon as you get up. And I'll be damned if you squeeze ketchup all over the top of them.
Napoleon, give me some of your crinkle cuts.
He really just doesn't like ketchup.
No ketchup whatsoever.
In
barbecue sauce.
He's fine with ketchup and barbecue sauce, but like it really does look like Gold Bond, doesn't it?
Yeah. So this is.
Oh, it does.
It's from Germany. Like one of our friends got it for us.
Delicatesse. I like how it says delicatesse mayonnaise.
Yes.
Love it.
That's it. It's literally like a metal tube like of mayo.
Which little side note,
and it is not in English.
Nope. It's all in German.
Not at all.
That's awesome.
Which, side note, did you know that in Europe all their condiments do come in toothpaste, and their toothpaste comes in like buckets?
Really?
Yeah.
Buckets?
That's weird.
Yeah. Like, does it come in like? Does their toothpaste come in like the Heinz upside down fucking bottle? Like,
no, it's like.
Doesn't fix anybody in England. Like their teeth are still jacked. Sorry.
They gotta put the toothbrush inside the jar.
No, they have a toothbrush spoon.
What?
I shit you
Oh.
not.
Hey, new angle for the spreader. Huh? Huh? You see where we're at?
That it's like, hey, use it for English people. Use it for your chip buddy. When you do a chip buddy, you can do that.
A chip buddy?
Yeah, that's what they in England. That's what they actually call it. They have like a potato chip. It's like a potato chip or a potato sandwich. So it's like French fries or potato chips with bread, and that's all it is. It's basically like
okay,
bread
I've done
and
that.
potato.
Okay, I'm
So they call
calling.
it a chip buddy.
I'm calling bullshit on Deli.
Uh-oh.
I'm over here googling.
It was one specific.
I figured
country.
he'd be Googling.
I'm calling.
You
I
said
found
Europe.
I found tooth powder
Whoa.
/ bubble gum, but I have not found
The
a
tub-
tub
the
of
tub of-
toothpaste.
tub of-
It starts with a.
Toothpaste tub.
I have found tooth powder in a tub.
It starts with a B. The country.
Is that spearmint? I
A
don't
B.
know.
So
I
it's
don't
a
know.
specific country, so not Europe. Because I searched European toothpaste bucket, and I'm not getting shit.
I am not trying to share a toothpaste bucket with anybody, dude.
Hey, but you have your spoon.
Does everybody have their own spoon?
right?
Uh-huh.
You
It's like-
sure?
Well, I mean, you
The-
can have
the
one
shit- I
spoon, and
saw
what is
that,
it? Like, you
yes.
put it on and you smear it onto the toothbrush.
From what
I just
saw,
see
yeah.
I'm just picturing dad chews tobacco. Nope, I'm out.
Yeah, there's a spit bucket. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I don't know about a toothpaste bucket.
No, that's just all right. The toothpaste bucket. No.
I hope you find it.
Yeah,
I really do.
I
Because
really
I
hope
want to
you-
find this toothpaste bucket.
We're
Dude.
gonna have to. This is what's happening. I don't know if you can see this.
He is searching the toothpaste bucket.
I love the fact that you guys have a camera and you guys can actually see share the monitor and see it.
Oh, there's
that's
4
awesome.
of them.
Yeah, there's four. There's
There's 4.
monitors.
That way we don't have to move.
Yeah, we're
Because
lazy.
we're that is how lazy Team Fat Kid is. We have 4
Well, I
monitors,
mean,
so
you
we do
kind of
not
need
have
it
to
when
move.
you have like the mic setups and everything like that. You kind of once you do that, I mean, that would just make sense
Yeah.
Oh,
to be able to do it that way.
probably a joke, possibly a lie. Is that what I saw? Unlikely to be true.
Okay, that makes way more sense.
Well, this is on Reddit, so.
Well, let's just leave it at that.
I'm gonna go with that's still probably true because I didn't find shit on a toothpaste bucket.
Biggie, when you I have a request, when you get your podcast up and rolling, we want to be your very first guest.
I think I can definitely make that happen.
And
You think you can carve out the time? It might be a Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Boom. Boom.
I can tell you it will not be a Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Holy crap! Hold on, he found the toothpaste bucket with toothpaste spoons.
Oh,
Croatian Twitter. Okay, well,
Can you see that?
I see it.
it's on Reddit
That is
and
a
Twitter.
tooth-
Like, find a place that sells it. Find the
yeah.
Caladant, whatever it is.
It's
Can you
you
buy
can
it
probably
on
find it on Amazon.
Amazon.
Go to shopping. That's all you had to do.
I mean, I've seen people with like the deodorant, like the little round deodorants where you scoop it out and then you put it in your hand and you whatever.
Oh, really?
I've seen those, like the natural deodorants like that. I've seen that, but I don't think I've ever seen toothpaste in a bucket. I mean, I've seen.
Why would you?
That's cool.
I've
Amazon
even
doesn't have
seen,
it.
like,
Dooley's
the little
finding out right
pills that
now.
You can take, like they have like little ones, like they're little pills, and you put it in your mouth, and then you use your toothbrush, and with the saliva and everything in your mouth, it
It,
you
like, breaks
basically use
down.
it.
That's what I think
Yeah,
the
breaks
bucket
down.
of tooth powder is. Not toothpaste. Slightly different. So I did find a bucket of tooth powder / chewing gum, which I'm assuming is essentially
Yeah.
the same thing you're talking about. But his toothpaste bucket search
Would it
is-
be like a Listerine strip?
Oh, you're getting desperate now. Look
He's-
at him.
yeah,
He's reaching now.
He's really trying to find this.
He is
dude.
He's like,
trying.
I'm not gonna do. You're not gonna say no to me.
But so what I was thinking, like, which something I always wanted to do,
Yeah.
when you if and when you launch your podcast,
Yeah.
we would record
Do you want to claim that? Go
while
ahead.
you're recording, and so
Yeah.
we would both broadcast the same
It works for me.
podcast, and that way,
Yeah, it
like,
works for me.
if and, like, even if like we can help you, like,
Yeah, man,
with
I
the whole,
appreciate it.
like, I think it's just fun. I mean, like, we do this whole podcast. Like, obviously, we're not making a fortune on a podcast, but we just enjoy doing it, and we love talking to people. We love talking and seeing, like, other perspectives on things. And obviously, like, we argue amongst ourselves enough. So it's great to have an outside voice come in and, like nope, I'm going to vote this way. So, like, the Juicy Lucy is only one slice of cheese, not two, Dooley. But I think, do you got anything else?
Juicy Lucy. No, man, everything's been good. I'm just glad that we got a chance to catch up. I know we talk enough on social media and stuff, so I absolutely love it. I definitely will tell you that when you create the book version of your recipe book, I do want an autographed version of it so I could buy so I can have in my house, so I can put it in my office.
And then once your
When it happens.
out.
That's right. So he just wants the autograph, so once we become famous, he can sell the book.
It's the only copy that's signed.
That's what I want.
This is the only copy ever signed.
Like no one ever signed it. But yeah, I definitely want one. I mean, like I said, I'm basically that's one of those where I definitely think it should be a 2021 goal for you guys to do.
I'm gonna go ahead and say though that
I'll
if
get
your
the producer on that,
if your authentic signed copy doesn't come with some kind of fingerprint smudge from spice, chocolate, flour, or some other sort,
Hot
then
sauce.
It's not legitimate. All right.
Condiment.
So
I want a condiment. I want some form of condiment. Or,
I feel like that should be like we're gonna fingerprint condiment. Like, all right, this is Biggie Fresh's. We're gonna sign it and fingerprint it. Yeah,
it used to be mayonnaise.
There you go. Bacon grease, just bacon grease fingerprint. Bam.
bacon
All right.
grease. I like that idea.
There you go. You know
Yeah, I think that's a cool. That's one aspect that I will tell you that I would love to try to figure out, like to make it even more authentic. Like when I sell cheesesteaks and stuff like that, to have my wrap have that like that look. So it looks like it's.
So like
So
you
it
almost
looks
gotta
like
like
it's greasy.
Yeah, that would be
like the clearish.
I haven't. Yeah, like I haven't gotten there yet to be able to pull that off, and nor do I want to play that game of
Yeah,
like
the
figuring
money
out,
the
and
money
also
that
I
goes
have-
into it to get butcher paper printed that looks already greasy.
That's no.
That just sounds
Nope.
expensive.
I mean,
Just cut off the middleman. We'll
I
get
will
grease
tell you
yourself.
that I will tell you that it's funny the fact because I shop at a restaurant depot for a lot of my stuff for like wrapping and stuff, and I just find it funny because my daughter's a baker, so like I've taken her there with me, and she's like, "Daddy, why?" And then I was like, and I walk in and I'm like, I'm only buying like obviously like wrap like the sandwich wrap and like deli notes and stuff like that. But every time I go in there, I brought my wife last time because I was like, you need to come in here. I'm like, this is like Disney World. I was like, you have to see all like the food and everything. And every time I tell her, I'm like, come on. I'm like, what can we buy? What hunk of meat? I was like, the only thing left for me to do is do a deli slicer because then I was like, I could make my own sandwiches with a deli slicer. I could be like Kramer. I was like, this would be phenomenal. And she's like, yeah, we don't have any counter space for that. I was like, we will. I was like,
but they make a cart that you can put the deli slicer on, so you can wheel it away.
I've seen a little one. Though.
Yeah.
I've seen a little one.
They got
I
little
just
trays
want,
at the bottom.
Yeah,
Like,
I just want like a little one that I can use.
I took
but,
a
you know.
home baker into Restaurant Depot, and that was hilarious. The flour.
Oh.
Speaking of bakers, but flour. Just like she's looking at like a 50-pound bag of flour, like that's twice what I pay at the store for like a pound and a half. I don't know.
Yep.
But we don't bake that much. I'm not gonna lie. That's why someone does our bread.
Yeah,
but
when we did move his mixer, I walked into a closet.
oh my god, that was hilarious. There's bread stacked higher than Jason.
With flour. Like
Sorry. Flour.
I forget how many. I was like, how often do you
The
get?
joke stands. All right, it was
How-
higher than you.
How often
Standard.
do you? It was taller than him.
It was taller than
We're about
everybody.
the same height.
It was
Like,
it was to the ceiling. Just
I was like, how often do you get flour delivered? He's like, well, it comes from DC. He has specific flour that comes in.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, every week. And I was like, looking at the, like, there's gotta
no one
be-
can see him except for probably Biggie. He is looking up, even in his remembering of how much flour there is. He is looking at the ceiling, going,
We're talking like
Fuck.
we're talking about a 10-foot ceiling, and there was just like 50-pound sacks of flour.
dungeon racks
Stacked.
full of them.
Just to the ceiling. Like, I was like, you get this every week? Like, and he's like, yeah. And then sometimes I'm like, calling other bakeries, like, did they deliver yet? Because I really need flour. Like, it's like, how do you run out of this?
My daughter's super big into baking pies, and she was like, she's 12, but she was like, and she's actually really good at it. And so she was like, I want to make pies. So I was like, well, if you're going to do this, I'm like, I'm tired of taking you to like our local supermarket to buy it. I'm like, let's see how much it costs. Like, you got to figure out the cost of it so you can do it. So I took her there just to kind of look, because I was like, Because she's like, well, if I do this and I do Oreo crust, and I was like, forget that. You don't buy Oreos. There's actually bags of fresh Oreos right here. I was like, for way less. And so she's like, oh. So I was trying to teach her that because I wanted her to see it. I ended up buying like this gallon of key lime juice because she makes key lime pies.
Right.
And I was like, look how cheap this is. I was like, you got to factor that in. And like, I was trying to just teach her because like when you bake in your world, like you have to figure out all the ways of the scraps and like what can you do, and then the cost of everything. And so I was trying to teach her. Even when she was baking cookies, I was like, you can't. I'm like, look at all the stuff in here. You got to scrape all this stuff.
Yeah. Where's your spatula?
Like,
there's like 3 more cookies in this bowl.
I was like, that's 3 more cookies you can make. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, if I don't teach you, how else are you going to learn? I was like, you can't. I'm like, it's just wasted money. I was like, what are you doing? So she's like, you're taking the fun out of it. I was like, well, I'm teaching you that you got to.
Does she sell pies?
All this is money. Not yet, but that was one of her goals for this year, and like she ended up making pies for her mom, my wife's work. She made like little key lime pies. She made like a bunch of them, like 24 of them.
So, I'm sorry to cut you off. Does just handheld foods run in the family? Is that just like is that a thing?
Handheld pie.
I feel like there's a theme going.
No,
was she born with a sandwich in her hand?
I'm trying to get her to the handheld part. She actually likes making.
So she does
like
the big ones.
Pie.
But you said she did the mini key limes, and
she did a mini one because she had to make so many of them that she wasn't going to make big pies for all my wife's coworkers.
That's fair.
But she made little ones. But she'd rather make big ones, and she'd rather make the dough and like. That's one of the things that we bought. Like we bought like a KitchenAid mixers for that because we've always wanted one, and like. So quote unquote Santa brought it even though she knows better. Mm-hmm. She knows that we brought that was like our big gift last year, and so she started making pasta with it. Like she's definitely like into cooking. Sandwiches.
Oh, you bought some attachments too, didn't you?
That pasta.
Yeah, you bought some attachments.
I want the pasta attachment. Like, that bitch is not
I
cheap.
bought the pasta. I did not buy the version. I bought the mock-up, like some generic that goes
the Amazon.
Attachment. Yes,
I gotta look into that.
It works.
I was gonna say, do you still have it?
Well,
a year later.
It works really. Yeah, a year later, still have it. We still make it. She still does She'll do the spaghetti. It's all it. This one has is spaghetti and what you call angel hair is this one. So because it's 2 attachments.
So it's the extruder.
Yeah, it's the one that you basically attach to. But then I found out there's a meat grinder version of that.
Oh, we have that.
Which I figured you guys have. And I'm like, then I was like, oh, I want that. I was like, where am I getting? I'm like, I need that one.
I'll send you a picture of the one we got. It works phenomenal. I've had it for probably 3 years now.
I love the switch up though. Okay. We're like, oh, you have the pasta extruder, and you're like, oh god, you have the guys have the meat grinder.
Yeah. Like I'll send you a picture of the one I got. It works phenomenal. It was relatively inexpensive. I don't know. Like my wife bought it for me.
Yeah.
But it has like all the sausage attachments and everything.
We have 2 versions. We definitely prefer one over the other.
Actually, the one that that is not KitchenAid, we prefer. Okay. So I'll send you a picture of the box, and you can find it on Amazon.
Send it to me. Yeah, that'd be awesome because that's really cool. Yeah.
That's we've run that thing through the ringer.
I was gonna say, like, is that what you guys use to make your 40-30-30 burger, or what?
As of right now, give a big congratulations to Dennis, who's not here because he went back to the butcher shop, and so we're still working our angle to get a personal grind made at the butcher shop, so that we can just pick that up too.
That'd be good.
Once again, make life easier for you.
We'll even drop off the meat. You just got to run it through the grinder, man. We'll pay you for labor. So we're working that angle.
Don't get me wrong, KitchenAid's great, but Hobart is better.
Yeah. Well, it is Hobart. KitchenAid makes Hobart.
You're talking
Hobart makes KitchenAid.
You're talking 5 quart versus like 5 gallon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have a buddy of mine, because of COVID, he started doing bagels, and that's what he's graduated from, because he said he broke so many of his KitchenAids because he was doing so much dough that now he has that in his kitchen, because he basically was able to do and the amazing part about it is he does everything, like pretty much buy it online, and then either you meet up with him in the area, or he does like drop-offs, or he'll drop off in the vicinity of his house. And people are constantly buying. I'm just sad that I'm like 40 minutes away from him because I'd be eating his bagels all the time. But which is the hard part about it. But yeah,
the bagel sandwich.
People have done
the bagel sandwich.
The bagel sandwich is a thing.
A breakfast sandwich. I made one. I had one today. I had a breakfast sandwich today. That's what I made. I got one of those like frozen New York style bagels, and I did an everything bagel sandwich with like cream cheese, and I made like an omelet with like all different types of meat because I like it meaty. So I had like the sausage, the ham, the Canadian bacon, all of that with some eggs and cheese, and I just made that, and it was awesome.
So you did double ham.
Yeah, I did
because Canadian bacon is ham.
Yes, I know. We call it circle ham. So circle ham, and then we did like jamon serrano, which is like a sweet ham.
Okay.
So
you redeemed yourself by busting out, by throwing the accent in there.
I mean, look, we're busting down Taylor ham versus Taylor pork roll again. Is basically what
I really thought there was going to be some pork roll on that thing.
All right,
bologna.
Well, you know that the reason they call it pork roll, the reason it has to be called pork roll, not Taylor ham, is because it's all it's like bits and pieces all smushed together. So technically, it's not a ham. So that's why they call it a pork roll, because it comes in a roll format.
Where are you at on Scrapple?
I'm neither here nor there. I don't know.
Don't worry, Biggie. I'm with you.
I'm a fan.
I saw your face. I don't know if anybody heard the inflection, but look. I have to admit,
if you made it, I eat it, but it's not one of those things where like I went up to you and I'd be like, oh, I want the Scrapple. Like, wasn't really ever
not happening.
Yeah.
I hate to say that I feel like I'm bougie by the fact that meat out of a can I don't give a crap. Scrapple's not good either.
Scrapple is not.
I'm gonna throw meat in a can in here because I feel like it's in the same category.
Scrapple is more like hogshead cheese.
That's where I'm at.
Than Spam. Hogshead cheese is delicious.
I feel like it's the same category. That's where I'm at. No, hogshead cheese is better than Scrapple.
It's the same thing. It's meat jello.
Stuff.
Nothing wrong with meat jello.
I love meat jello. Scrapple and even a hogshead cheese. Like, it's good, but there's better meat jello. Braised beef meat jello wins every time.
Alberta beef.
That's meat jello.
Alberta beef. All right,
do you guys? My last question for you. I have a question for you guys on your truck. Okay, so obviously, are you thinking of creating a line or doing something with like the Philly, since you have the Philly cheesesteak fries are a way to go? Have you looked at other type of fries that you might consider adding to do like tots or anything like that?
I'll say that we're fat kids, and every time we get an idea, we probably test it. And look, you're touching on some subjects here that you're getting pretty close to some things we're not trying to like reveal yet.
Hey, at least you know that I'm in your wheelhouse.
You are
definitely in the wheelhouse.
You are in the wheelhouse.
I'll leave it at this. Tots are not off the table.
Well, good. I was going to say, because that, it's a good, who doesn't love a good tot? So that's the reason why I was curious.
We found out that there's some bacon tater tots
that we're very interested in.
And again, there's some testing that needs to be done, but some bacon tater tots sound like a good start to a.
Have you guys ever made your own tater tots?
I have. They did not turn out fantastic. So
I was also going to say it sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah,
not worth it.
It's not.
I have for a special, and it's not.
No, it's not worth it.
It's.
I'm
like,
sorry to say,
when you get to that level, like you're selling somebody like 5 tots.
Tater tots are good. They're tater tots. Like
you don't want a tater tot, you want a fucking tater tot.
Yeah, it's not.
Sorry, she's
muted. Well,
I agree with that. The fact that if you want a tater tot, like you get like the only time other than that is like the bow rounds at Bojangles, which I absolutely love, like which are like the pucks that are like big.
Yep.
But like other than that, like I just think regular tater tots, because I've tried the different type of tater tots sometimes, like even the sweet potato ones, and I just figure just give me the cheapo, tater tot, and then throw the stuff on top and make it what it is. And
it's a fried potato,
tater tot casserole.
It's a fried potato. Like I hate to say it. Like again, I'm not making a fried potato. Like, I'm not making French fries. I'm not making tater tots. It's just we've tried home cut fries. We've tried.
We've done it.
And it's not.
It's
I'm
just
sorry.
time consuming. In order to make them correctly, they have to be steamed first, and then they have to be par fried, and then they have to be fried a second time. Like, that is a lot of steps. And at that point, the French fry just becomes really expensive. It's like, so that's what, like, we're just like, the fat kids and us were like, you know what? It's a crinkle cut fry.
Yep.
Like,
Again, certain things you don't. We have someone make our bread.
We talked to a provider that was like, do you want crinkle cut skin on or skin off? And I was like, it's got to be skin off if you're at crinkle cut status. Like, or I'm not trying to lie to somebody and say I made crinkle cut fries.
No.
Like, we're not.
Yeah.
They're coming straight from the freezer. They do a better job at it than we could.
It's fried potatoes. I hate to say it. Sometimes it's what we put on top of it or with it or whatever that makes it what it is. It's everybody.
The seasonings.
It's it's fries. It's tater tots. It's fried potatoes. Like, it's really what you add to it.
You're not team fry kids.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think there was, like, on the Great Food Truck Race, there was a French fry truck. And
yes, but which I was going to bring up. They didn't. I think they actually didn't even make They actually didn't even make their own fries.
Yeah,
I will. All right, I will.
Truck.
I will admit, in the time frame they had, that was probably difficult.
You go in there with a thought process
of this is how it's going to happen.
Because I've seen other food trucks that actually did make their own fries. I mean, which is amazing that they actually did it, because you're right, it is a process.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, like, I feel like you could take, like, a red potato and cut it up and fry it if you hold it in, like, water or soda water in particular, and it does pretty good, but it's not the same. It's really not. Like, it's a good homemade fry, but it is not a crinkle cut potato fry. Like, there is something about they're brined. Some of them they're coated. I
think that this is like what, like the stuffing conversation. Like, stovetop has been doing it perfectly for so long.
Why would you?
I don't even
fuck with a good thing. It's not broken.
Like,
I particularly don't like. I will tell you that, like, granted, I enjoy my wife's stuffing better than stovetop, but I won't say no to stovetop.
Is she cutting up old bread and, like, making?
No. She's usually the reason I like her stuffing so much is because, and that's why I like it so much in my egg rolls and when I make Thanksgiving sandwiches, is because she does sausage. She does, like, sage ground sausage with the Pepperidge Farm and the celery and the onions.
Yeah.
And that's how she makes it. So obviously it's not just stuffing.
Well, that's what, like, okay, so, like, stovetop versus Pepperidge Farm, like, when you're using the base crouton is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
Like, either way, you're good there. I don't need you to put a loaf of bread on the counter for a week and then cut that up and then try to create stuffing, because it's going to be soggy and it's going to be weird different textures. I think, like, you leave that up to the professionals who make the breading or the crouton, we'll call it, for stuffing, and just leave it up to them. Just buy the Pepperidge Farm bag of just bread croutons and go home and do whatever you want to, like what you're saying, like with adding the sausage, the celery, and the onions. The only thing I have to say is make sure you cut your pieces into uniform sizes and make sure that you cook that all the way
I don't have the mouse or the keyboard. Can you hit some shots fired, sir? Thank you.
I was getting there.
The producer, all right, I'm gonna. So the producer on Thanksgiving did exactly what you're speaking of, and we had a conversation about the celery, and I looked at her and I was like, "That's what you're gonna do?" She's like, "Yeah, what?" And I was like, "That's cool. You do you." And,
you do you, boo.
And then, like, during dinner, everyone's crunching, and she's like, "What is everyone crunching on?" And I was like, "It's the celery."
What? How difficult? Out of curiosity, because I obviously don't know your better half. As you know, so my question is does she have a food background as well? Does she enjoy cooking, or are you one of those that when she cooks, you are kind of like there, kind of help, maybe quote unquote, giving tips and advice But at the end, maybe, you know, and then because you want to do it your way.
Oh, let's two-part this one because she can't hear, so I don't
She
know why you're looking at her.
She can hear. That's why I turned up the headphones.
Okay.
She's not wearing them, but she can hear Biggie.
Oh, well, would you like to weigh in? Because I definitely
She does not want to weigh in.
No?
She wants to hear my answer. Okay.
Dun dun dun.
Because I want to
The
weigh
only
in.
reason, listen, the only reason I'm bringing it up is because I am one of those, and I have no problem sharing, is like, I tend to be horrible because I technically want to help, but then
Right.
my wife gets upset and then just says, here, you do it because your way is better or whatever, and then gets frustrated and makes me end up doing it, which isn't really the right way to do it, but at the same time, it may taste better.
Well, let's see what Jason has to say. I have got some shit to say. I love it.
All right.
Jason,
So
before we start,
yes,
do
please.
you want me to grab your shovel?
It's over here.
He probably will need another beer.
I know exactly where the shovel is.
I'll take a beer.
So, when I met her, she was a box cooker.
First dig.
No, she was.
It's absolutely true.
I'm just saying, shovels in
and-
the ground now.
No, I'm losing battery. I'm getting low battery here. And over time, like she didn't eat onions, she didn't eat peppers.
Second dig.
And we've been together. Shit.
Oh, third
14,
dig.
14 years, 15 years.
That took too long. That might be 4. I don't know.
No, we've been together for 15 years, and so gradually, with me having a culinary background, it was a slow transition. It was instruction, and then like she would figure things out, and then she would progress on her own, and now she. Like I just let her do whatever she wants to do, and like I will make comments when I walk through.
Okay.
Like what are you? Why are you doing it that way? Like just and like you should probably cut that smaller. But
Oh, all right. I can't wait. I'm jumping fucking in. So from my end, there's a couple of points. One, the producer hates fucking prep. All right. So there's a lot of times
husband, like wife.
there's a lot of times that Jason gets stuck doing prep. However, I will say we've been busy lately, and that hasn't happened. She's been doing her own prep. There are certain items I feel like she has confidence on beyond belief. She will just hammer ahead, and she has got it. Like if you doubt her, she will kill you. There's I got this.
I have
I'm
a
good.
knife in my hand. Why
Yes, right?
are you talking?
Now, there are definitely certain things. Again, she'll kind of look at him and be like, "Can you taste this?" So it happens, but she has a couple of like chilies and soups in particular. I can't see you, but shout out to soups. She's definitely got a couple of signature items for herself where she does not need any help whatsoever.
her marinara,
she is like,
her
I got
marinara
this
sauce
one.
is phenomenal.
She definitely has some, but again, she's not a prep fan, and if she may not ask for his opinion, she will tell him to do prep. I don't need you to taste it. I just want you to like cut up all the ingredients for me, and then I'll do it from there. That's fine.
I mean, that's pretty much what I do with Deli.
Yeah.
I don't need your opinion. Just cut this shit.
I got it.
You're cutting it wrong, Dooley.
I'm overthinking it. What the fuck do you mean cut it this way?
I said dice a damn onion.
I was gonna go tuna, but whatever.
But yeah, I mean, it was a process. I mean, nothing strenuous. Like she definitely took the knowledge and she ran with it. And in the beginning,
She has challenged me. She feels confident enough to challenge me to cooking competitions.
the other day she was making. Actually, it was yesterday. She chopped up green onions and threw it on top of her cauliflower bake. We'll call it. Again, I don't know why cauliflower just can't be cauliflower.
Okay,
but this time,
it was cauliflower. So that's fair. That's fair.
This time
it's fair.
it was cauliflower. It wasn't mashed cauliflower. It was just chunks of cauliflower.
It was cauliflower.
Wasn't mashed potatoes?
Made up into.
It was not meant to be something
the
else.
Cheese and bacony deliciousness that everything should have, and then she sprinkled green onions on top of it, and she's like, "I can't believe I went this long in my life not liking onions." So. Like we have converted at least one.
I don't know if that answered your question. I hope it did.
No, it did. It did. It did. I'm just kind of curious because I mean, granted, I do a lot of cooking and I do a lot of the prep work. So like whenever she makes like a healthier vegetable lasagna or whatever, I'm the one cutting up all the vegetables and doing all that and roasting it and doing all that for her to make life easier for her. So yeah, I totally get it. And it's kind of one of those things where I jokingly sometimes will say the theory is, some people get offended or, with the idea of like, go make me a sandwich is like the line. But supposedly it's, the whole thing we've talked about in the past, like it's always better when someone else makes it for you. But there's some things like that I'd almost rather make myself than to have someone make it for me. Just because, I don't want to be like, hey, you didn't put enough meat on it or you didn't do enough this on it. So I'm like,
the slices aren't thin enough. Why is it so chewy? Right?
Yeah.
Why are the onions not in perfect circles? And why are they like?
Why do I not have a fully formed spiral fry inside my sandwich?
Why am I crunching on my...
Why are you crunching on the celery? I don't know.
Dooley, hit the button.
Oh, man.
It's so slow. All right.
Well, Biggie, man, we really appreciate you taking time out of your day and
thank
hanging
you guys.
out with us. Again, you want to give some shout-outs where everyone can find your apparel and everything?
Yeah, man. You can find me or, follow me or anything like that at DeliFreshThreads. You can go to DeliFreshThreads.com and pretty much find me, like I said, on any social media and definitely chat with me. And I love talking sandwiches. And if you got, if you ever decide to buy anything from me, great. And if not, just, want to chit-chat or show me sandwiches or talk sandwiches, I'm all about it. That's pretty much, I just enjoy talking about anything food or anything like that related. So I definitely appreciate you guys as always.
The website.
He already said
DeliFresh.com.
Okay, just wanted to make sure it was there.
Yeah, he got it. He knows his shit. He's probably been doing this longer than we have, at least professionally.
He's way better at this than us.
Again, Biggie, you ever need any tips on podcasts? We're definitely here, and I think
I'll definitely be reaching out to you guys. I definitely think it's something that I want to try to do, and I just need to figure out what the best route is. But I definitely appreciate it. That's the reason why I brought it up.
Absolutely.
When Jason and I were kind of chatting, just because I wanted to hear something about what people thought or people would actually appreciate. I mean, heck, even if your listeners want to tell me what they think would be a good thing and they heard this and they want to give me input, I mean, this is the time to do it.
You got a new sandwich shirt ideas. Here's the guy to talk to, right?
That's the thing right there too. If you have ideas, I actually have a new. I just finished up with a new design for the sandwich for a buffalo. So a buffalo concept. So I'll be that'll hopefully be coming out soon, and then we'll see where it goes. So yeah, if you got ideas. If you have an idea for a Taylor ham pork roll sandwich, let me know.
Taylor pork roll ham. Taylor pork roll ham.
How we can skate around this whole thing.
The trademark. Taylor pork roll ham.
I mean, that's literally what I did. I did a shirt, one of my shirt releases, and I don't think you guys have one in Virginia, Publix.
Yeah, we have Publix.
Supermarket.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my shirts
we do have Publix, right? Or am I just thinking of another state? Because I've been a lot of places.
Publix is coming here, and like every time like we see like a billboard go up, like there's going to be a Publix there.
So apparently
somebody else buys the
I'm
land.
thinking of vacation, apparently.
I think it's Walmart.
So supposedly, I have one of my shirts, I basically had to tiptoe the line, but the colors are very similar to this chicken tender sub, which is like what they're very much well known for. Is these chicken tender subs, and so I had to kind of figure out a creative way of doing it, and that's kind of what I did. I called it like Pubs, instead of a pub sub, it's a Pubs chicken tender sub.
Skating the line, yeah. Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, and I figure I do that just because I figure if it's something. As much as I like small businesses, this is one of those where when there's accounts for people talking just about is it on sale or not on sale, and there's that many people following it, I figure I might as well jump on that one, and because I do enjoy it whenever it is on sale. So I tend to have one of those. So I figure why not give it the love that it needs.
We talked about the Wawa Turkey Bowl, man. I mean, like, come on, like Publix has got a sub, cool. Wawa's got the ticket. Like, I hate to say it, sometimes good things are good things.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you guys make a better Thanksgiving bowl version than their version.
Oh, we will.
Well, yeah.
We'll probably make a better egg roll. How about that? I'm on the egg roll train.
Oh, you're still there, huh?
When you
still
make
there.
it though, I at least wanna let me know where you're at because I can any way I can give insight to it. But yeah,
Oh,
egg rolls,
absolutely.
definitely try egg rolls. Egg rolls heck, if you can make egg roll desserts.
The
Trust
egg roll
me,
dessert.
we'll get
That
there.
is definitely him.
We'll
Like,
get there, don't
the
worry.
Egg roll dessert.
We'll
Egg
get
roll
there.
desserts and shit, man. You can even do chopped cheese egg rolls
Ooh.
and do that in there with your in your thing. So yeah.
Well, Biggie, thank you for coming
all
on.
the great
I think we're gonna
insights.
have to send you some 13th level and maybe some bacon cheese
We
sauce
might
if
have
we
to
can figure out how to make that
figure out
happen.
how to like freeze some egg rolls and send them down there.
You know, that might be a thing. So thank you again for coming
Or
on,
if
sir.
not, just come visit me.
We'll just drive the truck down there and park it in your yard.
It'd be warmer.
Yeah.
It'd be
It'd be
warmer.
It
Definitely
definitely
warmer.
would be warmer, but you would probably hate it. You would probably hate it during the summer months. So definitely don't come during the summer months.
Well, we'll have to come
You definitely
soon then,
can-
right? Right? We'll just have to come
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
That's all.
Come
A
on,
nice
now.
spring.
It's definitely I think we hit our lowest ever. I think it was like 38 degrees this week, and it was like the lowest we've had, which for you guys is nothing. I actually was wearing. I got beanies made, and I was like wearing it. I was like, wow, I'm like, this is the only time I'll get to wear it here in Florida. So
Yes.
I'm like, this is great.
Biggie, as always, man, thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to send you that
Thank
picture.
you guys.
And
Yeah.
we'll talk to you soon, man.
For sure, man. You guys have a great one. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
Thank you. Oh, I cut him off.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
did.
bad. Oh. Well, we need some music.
Oh. We'd like to thank DeliFresh for coming on the podcast today and the Goldsmith.
I love how that's all you're going to say.
Goldsmith.
The Goldsmith. Just
The Goldsmith. Just learn about it.
our sandwich of the year. That's the Goldsmith. As usual, guys, thank you for listening. As always, you can find us on Facebook at,
Team Fat Kid
on Instagram
at Team Fat Kid Nation
on Twitter,
at Team Fat Kid 1.
on YouTube,
Team Fat Kid.
and of course, you can find us at www.teamfatkidnation.com for all of your knife and apparel needs.
Remember, you can find the truck at
Well, you have to.
on Facebook,
Team Fat Kid Food Truck,
on Instagram,
Team Fat Kid Food Truck, no spaces,
and Twitter.
at Fat_Truck.
Thank you guys for listening once again. Thank you, DeliFresh. Guys, check out the Goldsmith. We gotta go grind.